Ah, it's a glorious day. Isn't it a glorious day, Colin and Kevin?
I'm sleepy, shut up.
Oh. It's rainy as hell on my end.
Well, it's a nice sunny day here in the road of islands, the island of roads.
I was going to say, you definitely got that backwards.
Bastard.
That's where they make all the roads on Rhode Island. That's why it's named that way, you know that?
Yeah, exactly. That's where they all
They're
come
all
from.
manufactured right there. They grow them organically, you know.
Well, you got to stay healthy on your long drives.
Well, of course.
Very true.
It's episode 50 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. We've done it, guys. We've made it.
Yay!
I'd like to thank all of my fan for being here for me.
This is the Red Leaf Retrocast. It's been a long, arduous journey over 2.5 years. 2 3/4 of a year, actually, now, at this point.
Yeah, whatever.
You love us! You really love us!
They deal with us.
We've stuck with it. They've stuck with us. And now we've made it to episode 50. Console Wars!
So, as we should, this will just be a clip show, you know, just like remembering our favorite moments. We're actually going to do no work at all. So, it's just going to be one of those, like, cop-out episodes. So, like, if you're looking for content, not here.
Oh, boy.
I wouldn't do that to our fan.
Do you remember that time we discussed the 3DO? Flashback.
Do you remember that time Kevin picked a really bad game? Flashback.
Which time?
Oh, you cheeky motherfucker.
Colin. Oh, you and your Canadian mannerisms.
Sorry, I didn't pick the game you wanted, eh?
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. My favorite Demi Lovato song.
So this Console Wars is about the, of course it's not the original with the ColecoVision and the Atari and all them. We're talking Super Nintendo versus the Sega Genesis versus the underdog TurboGrafx 16.
It wasn't even in the fight. Don't say that.
Hey, it was in Japan.
No, it wasn't.
It did better in Japan.
It showed up and is like, guys, can I join? No, okay.
The PC Engine was a very much success, just not in the outside of Japan area.
The TurboGrafx is the guy in the triple threat match who's taking the pin and is not advancing the story.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, accept it.
All right, so JD...
Well, your mom!
Yo, nice, bro. Sick.
JD, will be tasked with covering the 2 TurboGrafx games and its information and trying to spin the positive on the the lowest selling console. The jobber, if you will. Colin has been tasked with the 2 games for the Sega Genesis, and
Yay.
Kevin has the Super Nintendo, probably the easiest one.
USA. These are American systems, you know. So
I'm very excited for this. I won't spoil what we have for the topic. It's nothing too crazy, but we're just gonna kind of gush over the systems. It's good games and something else. So,
okay,
what's everyone been playing lately?
Somebody go first. I gotta wake up. I gotta drink my G Fuel.
All right, I'll go first.
I'm a meme now, you know.
I'll go first. So, besides games for the podcast, I will say I did get pretty addicted to one of the games we did play for the podcast.
Okay.
I did beat both of mine relatively quick, so I was like, oh shit, I might as well play one of you guys' games. Ooh.
Use guys.
Okay.
And then I've been picking away at Fire Emblem 3 houses. Fire Emblem 3 houses.
What house?
I went with the Golden Deer.
I've never even heard that. I didn't know that was one.
Yes.
Everyone always said Black Eagles.
Well, see, here's the thing, Kevin. I always go with the most German thing in these games. And I went, you know what, JD? As I'm talking to myself in the third person. No, we're not going to go with the German thing today. We're going to go 9, exactly. I went 9.
Nice.
Ich will dich nicht das machen. I will not do that.
So then you just started playing Wolfenstein. Got it. Okay.
No, I play good games. So.
Whoa.
So Fire.
I don't like that disrespect.
So I went with the Golden Deer. It had the pretty boy. I just got to go with my heart sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. Go with the handsome boy.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there was the other handsome boy, but he seemed too fake in his little knighthood little shtick he had going on. I was like, this guy's not real to me. And I really had to think long and hard about this. So I went with the Golden Deer, and the game. I'm 8 hours into it. I know people are like I know a lot of people are like 70, 80 hours. They've completed this thing already. But I have a lot of games to play. I got a lot of wrestling to watch. I have a lot of anime to catch up with, like One Piece.
Yes,
Nice.
Which side tangent question, Colin?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
How heavy are the dumbbells you lift this week?
Not very. I've had an extremely busy couple of weeks. I mean, first week was the lead up to going out to Vancouver with my family for my cousin's wedding.
Your Canadian accent was not hard enough when you said Vancouver.
Vancouver.
That's better. Go on.
Yeah, so during that week I had to get up early a couple of times to get some academic transcripts to apply to a certain union for an electrical apprenticeship.
Ah.
I beat you, dub.
It was actually Cuss W.
I've never heard of it. It sounds like shit.
Well, it's Canadian.
Well, fuck
IBW's
you, buddy.
international. Listen, IBW's international. I'm just saying, we rule the world. Go on.
Wait, I didn't say it right. Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck you, buddy. I ain't your buddy, guy.
Damn right, you ain't my buddy. Anyway.
So you got off track, Colin. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so...
for shame. For shame.
Yeah, we went to Vancouver. My cousin was getting married to a guy whose family is very heavily from India. So we had an Indian-style wedding.
And did you have your 7 members of your family have to wait for their 900 members to take a picture?
Not really.
Oh.
They had hired photographers. But it was a very extravagant affair. My mom, aunts, and female cousins just went all out with their outfits. Just really, really flashy. Lots of jewelry. It's crazy stuff.
They pulled off their best pirate cosplay. I understand.
Ha!
Sometimes I need to be very flamboyant and extravagant in my daily life as well. I show up to work like that sometimes, and they tell me to go home. I just never could figure out why.
Just for the job you want, you know?
Yeah, in the meantime, me and my dad and my brother are all just in plain old 3-piece suits.
Plain old 3-piece suits. I mean, I tear up $400 suits like on a weekly basis. I don't know about you, Colin, but I could have just given you one of my $400 suits.
All right, Ric Flair.
Doing like the dude in dumbbells and constantly flexing out of them.
Kevin, I'm so happy you got that reference.
You're welcome.
I had just watched a lot of
Ric Flair.
Mid-South Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole early 80s Roddy Piper versus Ric Flair feud is like a thing of glory. And it's for their mid-card title, of all things.
When those meant something?
Yes. Because, it's... Another side tangent before we get back to Fire Emblem.
We are super getting on this. Go on.
Okay, so Roddy Piper won the U.S. title from Ric Flair, right?
Got it.
And he goes on the NWA panel, their little broadcast interview panel, and he goes and he has this cadence to his laughter, right? Oh my god! All the time. I can't do a good Roddy Piper.
As people do.
All right. And he's wearing what looks to be a rented tux, but it's only the top, and he still has a kilt on the bottom.
Well, yeah, it's formal wear.
Right, so he looks ridiculous, and it's fantastic. So he's bragging. He goes, "You called me a woman, Ric Flair. Well, how does it feel to be beaten by a woman?" It's so good. And he goes, I have given Ric Flair a gift, and Ric Flair comes and he goes, I am a professional athlete. There will be no physical altercation during this interview. Piper gives him the gift, and he's just going on and on and on, just goading him. Ric Flair opens it up. It's Roddy Piper's old TV title. So, the undercard title, because the TV title was for the undercard guys to get up to the U.S. title, right?
Right.
So he gives him the TV title because he doesn't want it anymore, because now he has the better title, right?
Oh, no.
Right.
And
do this
Ric
to
Flair,
me.
and he goes, there it is, because you'll never win that, because I had it.
Ooh.
Just talking, Ric Flair starts going off, and he tears up his $400 suit, and Roddy Piper's like, oh yeah? He takes off his rented tux, and just as he goes, wait a minute, he pauses. You know what? I'm not that stupid. Here, you take my suit. I'll tell you something, Ric Flair. So it's perfect. It's heels, like, oh yeah? Well, whatever you can do, I can do better. Wait a minute. I'm not as rich as this guy.
He's a stinker, he is.
Yeah, it just really puts in perspective just the, non-scripted segments, how good these guys were back then at talking, just in general. They're so into their character, etc., etc. It goes on. It's fucking fantastic. In fact, you can hear more about that on the Red Leaf Retrocast that just released yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. Came into a
What
plug.
a transition.
Yeah.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. But yeah, Fire Emblem, I'm the Golden Deer. Back to Fire Emblem. And
Oh yeah, we were talking about Fire
we were talking about Fire Emblem. Lots of fun stuff on episode 50. This is a video game cast, right?
What?
What? So...
Okay, I'm back.
Adult video cast. Yes.
Yeah. So, Fire Emblem, I'm a good chunk in the way of the game. I got a good feel about how this game's going to go. And I gotta say, this is a lot slower than other Fire Emblem games. It's a lot deeper as well. So, you have to, in between battles, right? Instead of a map being shown, like past ones have had, you're in a school, and there's a bulletin board, right? And you click on the bulletin board, and it shows you can either teach, learn, battle, or roam around the campus, right?
Waifu.
Yeah, talk to all your waifus. So I'm like, okay, why do I need to do all this? It just feels kind of like they're putting in content for the sake of taking up time. And it's very, like I said, my first impression, it's very jarring to how much you have to get into and learn for this game. So, and you actually have to cycle through all these things. Like one day you'll have to learn, another day you'll have to roam around the campus to do other things. It's also you can boost up certain stats, right, of your characters. That's all it's for. You battle kind of when you need to. So you do all these other nonchalant things as you're getting ready for the battle, but they have really no implication on the battle itself other than you're boosting these stats, so your stats are better for the battle. However, there is that nagging feeling now because I'm like, I don't feel like roaming around campus finding all these guys. The fast travel only works the first time when you have to go to a mission, but then you have to roam around campus some more. So I'm like, shit. I do like the fact that you can just auto-learn and auto-teach. You can just have that set up. That's very nice. But then you don't get the stat you want if you do that. Right? So it's just time compounding on each other a lot of the times. So, that's kind of irritating to a point when I just want to progress through the game. It doesn't feel like I'm progressing all that fast. So what should be like a 40-hour game is now twice as long. So I think that's why people are getting 80 hours into this thing.
Yeah.
But
I've heard that.
Yeah. The battle system is Fire Emblem. It's just as fun as always. You can recruit members from other houses to help you out during your mission, but they don't, unless they're joining your house, they don't level up. So that kind of sucks. It makes sense, but it sucks. So, I like
Very good.
of the story, I know very little about it still. So it's a very slow game.
Too busy just romancing your students. Gross.
Well, it's not even that. It's like I'm trying to pair them together to romance instead of like with me. How
Lame.
And I'm a teacher like their age, so now it's just awkward. So there's teenage hormones just busting through the character, and they're just like, wow.
It's Japan.
Yeah, it's Japan. And I'm like, oh man, I'm a teacher, so I can't mess with my students, but I am their age, so I want them to mess with it. You know, you're all these regular things people go through in normal life. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right, guys?
Do I bang my students? Yes. I must. The thing I ask myself all the... wait, hold on. Whoa.
Kevin, what have you been playing? You awake yet?
I'm getting there. So where do I start? Did I say I beat Cuphead or no?
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Colin.
Okay, yeah, we had a power bump on my end, so I had to switch to my mobile data.
Got it.
Your audio's still okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't shut it off.
Better be. I'm coming for you.
Jeez.
Huh.
Yakuza over here.
Kevin, back to you.
Yes. Did I say I beat Cuphead?
You did say you beat Cuphead last cast.
Okay, I can't remember anything anymore.
It's okay, I remember for you.
Thanks. The other thing I beat was Dead Cells, finally. Ooh, wow.
Oh, nice.
You finally beat it?
Yeah, I fucking know.
I've seen you on Twitter just going, like, it's almost like you're trying to motivate yourself on social media. I can do this. What do I stream? But I need to beat this game, but it's so hard.
Well, because the thing is, I was like, look, I'm doing everything right, but I just kept getting fucked. So, like, last minute, I'd be like, all right, I got him, fuck you. And after, the guy that is the final boss, I didn't think he was, because you see the king on the throne. So you're like, now I gotta fight him after. So I was like, really, like, shit, I gotta do this fight twice, you know? Was not the case. You just kind of go up to him and hit R1 and hit kill. And I was like, oh. Well, alright then. But let's see. You know what weapon really did it for me? I don't know. It was something stiletto. But essentially, if a target's poisoned or bleeding, it automatically does a critical hit.
Ooh.
So once I got that weapon,
high heels are pretty deadly.
Yeah, right? You actually use a high heel. So that worked. But the thing is, once I got like, okay, this is easy to make people bleed or poison. I have many items that do that. I get all the time. So then I just found a loadout that was like all blood or all poison. And it got me through the game. The only thing that pissed me off is like the one time I wasn't fucking streaming, I beat it. I was like, oh.
Of course, that is how it works, isn't it?
Yep, fuck me. So.
And then of course, when you would be streaming the game, you wouldn't beat it.
Right. No, I got very close. That morning, actually, I was like, oh, I'm so close. I maybe I'll put it down for the day. Went to my buddy's, streamed there. Then I got to my house. I was like, hey, you know what? Let me just play it and see if I get any farther. And then I had like the run of a fucking lifetime. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? So, rip in peace, my E-cred.
Rip in peace?
Rip in pepperoni.
Rip in pepper. Ooh, I like some pepperoni.
Oof.
Not my current diet plan, though.
Right. So, I wanted to, since we were all on the Nightfire kick and you broke the rules, I was like, maybe I'll actually try the good Nightfire now. So I started it, and then I got
PS2
to that...
or GameCube?
PS2.
Okay.
And I was like, let me get to I got there. You know the, like, second mission where you're at the party and you're all dressed all fancy?
You mean my 3-piece suit?
Yes, your 3-piece suit. I got there, disc froze.
No.
Oh, no.
Yep, so I had to order another copy of Nightfire, and I'm waiting for that to come in the mail.
Bummer.
Yeah, but all my systems are packed. I only have the PS2 and the PS4 out till I moved. Yeah. I was like, well, so what am I going to play? And I was like, well, the PS2's already hooked up, and I don't feel like changing all my Twitch stuff because it was on retro. I'm like, all right, let's see what we get. And I'm playing a little bit of Midnight Club 2.
Oh, I love Midnight Club 2.
Midnight Club 2 is the Cuphead of racing games.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're short little races, they're difficult, and you have to have the perfect run. And if you fuck up, the race is pretty much over. There's no coming back.
It's so satisfying, though.
It is.
Because if you crash your car, you shouldn't be able to come back.
No, and I get that, but like the races are short enough where I'm like, wow, I didn't just do this for 7 minutes and now I'm dead, you know? Like,
No,
The
they're
short
like 30
races-
seconds to 2 minutes. Yeah, I remember. Man, Midnight Club 2 was my jam in the early 2000s.
Yeah, every little race feels like a little boss fight of like, all right, I gotta beat this person, I gotta do it, fuck. And then once you beat it, you're like, yeah, I have your car, fuck you, your car's not even that great, oh, the turning sucks, oh boy, I hate the soundtrack. But yeah, overall, the game's real good. I've heard the other ones are better, so if the series keeps getting better, no?
Depends on your perspective of them.
I don't know. I feel like this didn't have the need. Here's the only ones I hate. I hate the races where it's not like a race. It's just like there are a bunch of checkpoints. Hit them in any order you want, and then the first one hit them all wins. I don't like that because I'm like, which way do I go? What's the best route?
Well, it's almost like a puzzle. You have to find that best route.
Man, I didn't come to a racing game for a fucking puzzle, but okay.
I kind of like those.
So, I don't know. It's overall a good game.
I have a vivid memory of the Paris, like you're outside the Eiffel Tower and you start there.
Yeah.
And you have to find the route from that one. There's like 6 different ways you can start from. It's like, uh-oh.
A good game. I'm having fun with it. Probably will keep playing it to completion. So, I'm going to do that. What else I haven't played? Mega Man 04, just still grinding away.
Sure.
Me and my buddy beat Gears of War, the original, for the first time.
Oh.
Or as I like to call it, Gray the fucking video game.
It's a shame you have to have a 360 to play that game.
Man, I do, so there.
It's like the only
or an
console I
Xbox
don't
One
have.
if you're cool. Yeah. It's like, that game's good. I don't think it aged well because everyone feels like a bullet
not.
sponge. No, but like, I never fell into the meme of like, all these shooters are like just gray and brown. And then I played Gears of War, I'm like, I get it now. Yes. This is literally gray and brown, the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring to look at. I feel like the co-op stuff could have been better in that game. Overall, and the final boss was fucking lame. He dies so fast. And my friend's like, well, if you play it on co-op, it's way easier. I'm like, well, I should have made it harder. This took like 30 seconds to beat.
Kevin,
like,
are you saying Gears of War could be an overrated franchise?
No, I did not say that because I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. And then for 2 years, he said he was going to get me Wolfenstein 2 for Christmas. For 2 years, I've been bugging him.
The new Colossus?
And I haven't bought it because he's like, oh, I'm going to get it. But he's like the most forgetful person in the world. And I honestly don't care. I'm not like, where's my Christmas gift, bitch? But, you know, I'm like, yeah, whatever. We'll play.
Well, the
He's
longer
like,
he waits, the cheaper it will be. And the more affordable he will be able to get it for you.
Yeah, he finally bought it. So we're gonna be playing that together next. And I'm not sure if I should do Old Blood first. I know it's like a side story, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, do not get or play Youngblood. It's the new.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh, it is not a good game. It's so boring.
I've heard
all the
terrible.
complaints I've heard, I feel like I can overlook. If I'm being honest. Then again, I also said that about We Happy Few, and here we are, you know?
Oh, boy.
So.
Well, it is better than We Happy Few.
I'm also playing one other thing. Detroit Become Human.
Oh, cool.
I like those types of games.
Yeah. I would never play them by myself, but Tina was interested, so I said, all right, we'll try it.
Oh, that is a
and
fun game
free.
to argue over choices.
Oh, no, I let her do everything. I'm letting her pick the choices. Except she gets overwhelmed and it's like there's a timer. She's like, I don't know, drunk and disorderly. I'm like, what? So there's that, and it's a fun game.
I made Connor the Robot basically a Terminator. It was
yeah.
I'm letting her. He seems to be all right, but the only thing that's weirded out is not to get political. But I was listening to a podcast with Andrew Yang on it. I don't know if you know who he is. No? Yes?
No. Maybe.
All right, I don't know. He's a guy running for president. Anyway.
I know who you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah, Yang Gang. And he was talking about, like, you know, jobs and all this. He's like, we shouldn't be worried about, like, outsourcing. We should be worried about automation. I'm like, robots aren't going to take every job. And then I'm playing Detroit. I'm like, oh, fuck, they could take every job. So.
Fuck,
they take truck driving.
They could be sentient.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah, overall the game's good. I think Kara's story is the best. I know everyone was, like, a big Connor fan, but I don't know, I like Kara's story, personally.
Hers is the more babyface of the trio.
which is fine. I just think it's more like she's risking her not life to rescue a little girl. Connor's, I don't know. I think Connor's actually the least interesting so far. Maybe it'll turn around.
Yeah, when you complete this game, I want to hear your thoughts at the end.
Well, how many different endings are there with all the choices you can make? A lot, right? Or no?
There's not a whole lot, but it varies enough where it does matter. Your choices do matter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I had a very sad ending.
Oh no!
I had a very sad and horrible ending. It was awesome.
If swear to God, if Alice dies, I'll murder you.
Well,
don't tell me. I'm just gonna let you know if that little girl dies, I will fucking murder David Cage myself.
I can't wait. I can't wait till you get to the end.
All right.
I'm gonna switch networks for a sec.
God damn it, Colin. What else? Oh yeah,
that was
what else
easy.
do I have? Oh, all right. That
All right. Well, we're running a little bit long here on this. We gotta get to console wars. Yay!
Wait, Colin's got to talk, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't get to.
You didn't
say my
JD.
games.
You didn't? All right,
No,
do it real quick.
Because you went on your fucking wrestling tangent.
Well, I was trying to not plug my other podcast.
It's all about you. I get it. Go ahead, Colin. Speak.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say.
Yeah, suck it, JD.
So, I finally beat Ys 1 and 2.
Ooh. Go on.
Yeah, I've been getting through book 2 for the past few weeks. I mean, it's good, at least for the first half, but once you get to the big shrine, it becomes incredibly frustrating, obtuse, and tedious. Time-consuming is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, the place is one big maze, and it comes in multiple parts that are mazes in and of themselves. The environments are so samey looking, it's impossible to know where you are at any given time.
That sounds like a walkthrough immediately.
Yeah, I literally needed to use a guide for the rest of the game, and even that was a chore. I mean, I tried looking at user-created maps, but those are hard to read just because of how complicated the layout is. It wouldn't be so bad if it were only a small part of the game, but it's the entire second
Did you notice
half.
that Colin dropped out just now in the middle of talking about the maze in Ys Book 1 and 2?
What?
I did. I thought it was me, actually.
You cannot be serious.
I had to fix something. Sorry if I sounded far away.
That's okay. That's really funny.
Yeah,
He just went bop, gone.
I thought that was me because I had to get up and.
I need to change
take a
my
medicine.
network. Out of here. Episode
Whack.
50. What a glorious day.
So does that mean we just move on? I don't know what we do now.
I think we have to move on. I'm gonna play.
You're keeping all of this in, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Stupid
Oh, he's back.
freaking network problems.
Oh boy, this is why gamers are violent. Here you go. This is it.
Okay, I'm back on my data. Anyway.
I thought it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kevin's all in the background going, "What?"
Yeah, I had to take a medicine that I forgot. I'm sorry.
Did you take
I don't
your
wanna die.
zinc, magnesium, and calcium pill?
No, it was my ADD pill. Because,
ADD pill.
You know, dude,
I
got diagnosed.
I thought you don't do math on the weekends.
Yeah, well, you know. Anyway, Colin, go on before we get too distracted again.
Yeah, so
I see where this is going.
getting back to Ys. Keep in mind, due to real-life complications, I sometimes went weeks on end without playing during the section I just mentioned, so my memory of the layout tended to be a bit spotty. But still, you'll definitely need a guide. And that final fucking boss.
Good old late 80s, early 90s RPG bosses.
Fuck that boss with the jagged ends of all the broken broom handles in the world.
Wow, so violent.
It's cheap as fuck. I'd go as far to say
rise
it's
up.
even harder than the final boss of Sekiro.
What about
Whoa.
Final Fantasy 2?
Whoa,
Never played it, so I wouldn't know.
Kevin, you played Final Fantasy 2, right?
no.
No?
Wait, like real 2 or like Japan,
Like real 2.
2s and 4? No, I have not.
Well, the end boss in Final Fantasy 2 is like the most egregious, horrid thing in the world. That's what Colin, you say, immediately reminded me of.
Yeah. Well, in any case, at least with Sekiro, it depended on you to increase your own skill and reflexes to win, but this fight depended a lot more on luck. What do I mean by that? Well, the fight takes place on a floating platform with a floating figure in the center. Once it starts, the boss starts teleporting to random spots on the screen. And I do mean random. There is no pattern whatsoever that I could see. So if you're running at him in one direction while he's on the edge of the left side, if you don't get to him in time, he could end up warping all the way to the right side, causing your efforts to be completely wasted. Although by the same token, sometimes he'll warp just a couple squares away, which will make it easier to hit, but that didn't happen way more often than not. So it's pretty much a roll of the dice. All of the above wouldn't be so bad, though, if not for the fact that the whole time, you've got projectiles from the top of the screen raining down on you. If you stay in one spot for even a fraction of a second, you get hit. I mean, each individual one doesn't do too much damage, but given that you do less damage with each hit to the boss than a projectile does to you, you have to be on your toes at all times to avoid being hit. It is total bullshit. I mean, best I can say is that the hit detection is at least fair. I mean, I didn't find any moments where I took damage when I clearly wasn't hit, but just the sheer number of them, combined with the random nature of the teleporting, makes it total bullshit.
Dude, it's no joke. It is no joke.
I mean, watch a YouTube video of it so you could know what I mean.
Yeah. I have seen that final boss before. And it's like, yeah, it's like playing a bullet hell game at times.
Yeah. Absolutely. Except you can't shoot.
You can't shoot.
Which is the best part. That's my favorite part.
You have to face fuck the boss, as Kevin so eloquently put it.
Yes.
Face fuck the boss.
Nothing like a good face fucking to wake you up in the morning, you know?
But, nevertheless, being as stubborn as I am, I persevered, and now I can officially knock this game off my list.
Hell yeah.
On to God of War 2.
Is Ys Book 1 and 2 the first game that we've covered on the cast that you've continued to play and beat?
No, I think there have been others. I just can't remember what they are off the top of my head.
Yeah, maybe.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Plumbers don't wear ties. That's a game, right?
Oh, and fun fact,
Maybe.
it could very loosely be called a game.
It's a visual novel.
Yeah.
Dating sim.
Visual dating sim.
And a pretty shitty one at that.
Yeah.
Pretty much paved the way for Gems Like a Tofu Boyfriend, if you're thinking about it.
Okay.
And fun fact, I noticed in the credits that Jim Cummings actually voiced one of the characters.
I know, I kind of giggled at that too.
And for those who don't know who he is, he's a very talented and prolific voice actor who's most famous for voicing Winnie the Pooh and Darkwing Duck, among many others.
What a transition.
Wow. Okay.
Wholesome Winnie the Pooh to Darkwing Duck.
Yeah. I also finished on my Vancouver trip. I finished all the tutorial missions of Advance Wars. It's a game I've been playing on and off, usually when I'm flying or going on a train somewhere.
Good.
It's really fun. And let me just say, Nell is one of the hottest women in any video game. Right up there with some of the ladies of Elite Beat Agents.
Oh, Mr. Waifu over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't get into video game women, sorry.
Yeah. I also managed to get past Zone 2 of Crypta the Necrodancer.
Ah, you finally got past that. Okay. I know you're having trouble with that.
Yeah, but... And then... I also started playing A Hat in Time.
It is a cute game.
My God, is this game fun.
It is very adorable, yes.
Yeah. It's cute, it's happy-go-lucky, it's colorful, it's funny, it's creative. Just plain fun to play. It's been a while since I've played something I actively looked forward to after work, and this is that game, although God of War 2 is creeping its way in.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Again, transitions. Oh, cute, happy, lucky, I will eat your soul.
Yeah, I actually just finished the spooky part of the game.
Father, I will murder you! Speaking of Hat in Time.
Oh boy.
I gotta get my sick little top hat back from the turtle monster. Okay.
Yeah, I guess lately I've just been craving games that are less story heavy and more viscerally fun. Sekiro was my big steak dinner.
What are you talking about, Colin? Games are not meant to be fun. Okay? All right? I have to cut you off and we have to move on. Okay? Here we go.
Okay, fine.
He did a drop.
I did the drop. The Street Fighter 2 drop, because that's a game that was on all these consoles that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. See, there was a purpose to that. There was a purpose and reason to that drop. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Console Wars. We are going to pretend to be fanboys of the console that we're defending.
Oh, yes, we're pretending. Yeah, you're definitely not a Turbo fan. We're right.
All right. I am going to be a fanboy of the console that we've been assigned / took.
Yes.
So, all the way back, we're going to go this is it. The release dates, the launch titles of the US. It also works for Canada, so I was thinking of you too, Colin.
Okay.
Nerd.
And then a little special segment is the ad campaigns, where I've taken 3 ads for each console, and we're gonna watch them all. You the audience will be able to hear the commercial in the audio, and then we'll poke a little fun at the ad campaigns of the late 80s, early 90s. They all kind of have the same feel to them, and we'll just kind of just have fun with being kind of those kids on the playground going, "Nuh-uh, this is better, nuh-uh," that kind of thing. So here we go. I will go first. The PC Engine was the Japan name for the console. It came out October 30th, 1987. In the United States, it was known as the TurboGrafx 16. Because they weren't going to call it a PC Engine due to like computers and the whatnot. Makes sense. It came out in the United States August 29th, 1989. So almost a full 2 years after the PC Engine release. And it launched at $199 in 1989.
I bought my mic.
So, Colin, tell us about your console.
My console is the Sega Genesis. Came out in Japan October 29th, 1988, and in North America on August 14th, 1989. So about the same time as the TurboGrafx.
Indeed, yeah. Right about the same time. How much did it launch for?
What was the price again?
Oh, $189. That's right. I wrote that on the agenda later.
I assume we're not adjusting for inflation here.
We are not. Mm-hmm. Just remember how poor or rich your family was at the time. And Kevin.
Hey there.
Tell us about yours.
I got a Super Nintendo. It's cool. It's got like at least 15 bits. Some would say more. Some would, The launch games were like these little like shitty little things you might have heard of.
Don't do the launch games yet. Tell us about like the release dates and how much it was.
Oh, 4.
Okay.
The release date in Japan was November 21st, 1998, and in North America, August 23rd, 1991. Wait, did I say 1998? That's wrong. I can't. The 0 looked like an 8. I'm tired. Anyway, that would be weird. It'd be like after the N64. That doesn't make sense.
And it launched for $200, the most expensive of the 3.
This is where we could say the origins of Nintendo tax started. Yes.
So this was interesting. All 3 consoles were released at least pretty much a year after the Japan release. In the PC Engine's case, TurboGrafx, it was 2 years.
Well, yeah, that was common though.
It was very common at the time, And the other thing is they all released right like as school season was starting in the U.S.
Almost on purpose.
In mid to late August. That was the those were the release dates. While in Japan it was late in the year, the October-November timeframe.
Right.
I found that just kind of interesting for a date sense.
I find the year difference between America and Japan different because I always remember like back in like school days, people would be like, "Yeah, well, we're getting like Pokemon Blue. They have like Pokemon Green in Japan. It's like way better." Like you always thought like Japan had this like new alien like game or system, and you're like, "Whoa, when are we gonna get that?" And you know,
right?
It's always weird to be like, "Whoa, they already have the N64? What?"
Yeah, crazy, right? You read magazines, it's like you're gonna have to wait a year. Fuck you.
Fuck you, and then you'd be like all hyped up, and then it was just like, "Oh, this is the same."
Yeah.
So, yes.
So fun. So they're all about the same price, really.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So the price does $11 make or break a system for you?
Absolutely. Some of us can't afford all the luxuries in life that you have, JD. Okay. Excuse me while I drink my 7-Eleven cola.
All right. All right. So the launch titles in the United States for the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, I messed up.
And the what's interesting is the PC Engine's been out for 2 years, so you would think, hot damn, the United States is going to get some fucking awesome launch titles, right? They have 2 years
Sick
of games,
bro.
Sick games, like Alien Crush, which is a pinball game.
That actually is a sick game.
It is a sick game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Keith Courage and Alpha Zones.
That game's okay.
The Legendary Axe.
That exists.
And Victory Run, which is a driving game not unlike Outrun.
I thought it was like Pole Position.
Or Pole Position. Either or.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll show you the position on my pole.
So,
gross.
All right, we'll each pick 2 games once we go through them all of which games we'd want for the console. All right, Colin, you're up.
Yes.
All right, the launch titles for the Sega Genesis were Space Harrier 2, Thunder Force 2, Altered Beast, and Ghouls and Ghosts.
And Kevin?
You might have heard these shitty little indie games called Super Mario World, F-Zero, Gradius, and Pilot
Gradius
Wings.
3.
Gradius. Yeah, you did write it 3. I can't. My computer's far away. I'm scared. I'm tired. Help me.
And what was the last one?
It was Pilot Wings.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So if I was a kid and I was trying to convince my parents to buy me a TurboGrafx 16, and it does not come in with a pack-in game, I would most definitely choose the Legendary Axe and Victory Run.
Why?
So, the Legendary Axe was the adventure game. I would definitely get a lot more challenge and time out of the 4. And then Victory One is a simple driving game. I don't think I would have been able to convince my parents to buy me a creepy alien pinball game. It probably would have been too mature for my young self, as they would have probably said.
Huh.
And they were like, JD, go to your room. Disappointed.
And I know what you're thinking, but Legendary Axe is pretty violent. But I had an NES and Contra, and that was okay. So, it was my parents. I had to work with them.
I never understood 80s parents' logic. They're like, oh, you could sit here and watch Terminator, but damn it, I won't let you play their video games.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to look at the covers of the games and be like, you know what, Alien Crush? They're probably not going to let me play that one, so that's immediately off the list. And then
that was responsible of you.
Yeah, but the other, I'd look at the Legendary Action, and because I was so into like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and Thundercats, and all those things, Legendary Axe was right up my alley.
Giant oily men.
Yeah, and then racing games were always a safe bet. So those are my 2. Colin, what would be your 2?
I would
Sega
probably
Genesis?
pick. I would probably say Ghouls and Ghosts and Thunder Force 2. Because those would probably be the most family friendly.
Not Altered Beast.
Probably not.
Why?
It means you'd have to play it.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen any footage of this game myself, but it sounds like a very horror-esque title, and I doubt my folks would have approved.
An adept reasoning. I like that. And no Space Harrier 2, because that was a very popular. The first Space Harrier was a very popular arcade game back then.
Yeah, but I don't know if my folks would have known about it.
So the side-scrolling shooter and the the Maximo Ghost the Glory clone.
Shut the fuck up.
I can't be making jokes. That's way later. Okay. Kevin.
I was sad. Hey.
I feel like you definitely have one of these that's an easy choice.
They're actually both pretty easy choices because they're literally the games we had. So, I can go with real life experience, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
2 games that I would pick. Number 1 was Super Mario World. 1, because if there's one game my mom ever played, it was Mario, like Brothers Original. So she knew what she was getting. She's like, I know my kids will like this because I like Super Mario World. So it was easy for the whole family to agree on that one. Me and my brothers could play together. We learned how to steal each other's lives. There was a bunch of fighting. It worked out just great. There was... And the other game we would have, I wouldn't so much play it because I was too young to understand it at the time, but Link to the Past, I would watch my brother play Legend of Zelda. We would get hours out of it because we didn't have no internet. We didn't have a guide. We didn't know where to go, so we were just like fart about in the world until we kind of accidentally stumbled upon what we were supposed to do. And you can get hours and hours and hours out of that. We had fun, and my parents didn't have to be bothered for another game forever.
But what was the second launch title you would choose?
That I'm saying those were 2.
Link to the Past wasn't a launch title.
Link to the Past, well, not the ones you wrote, but wasn't it close to the launch?
These launched with the console on that day.
I thought we were going around launch window. I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were sticking to the fucking plan. Pilot Wings, we did end up getting later, and I did have a lot of fun with Pilot Wings, but it was kind of short in like depth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'd get it because it was something to like, if your friends came over, something simple to pop on and do a couple obstacle courses, but it's fun for, I guess, to play with other people. So we'd keep that, and Mario would be our main, like, let's beat this game. So, F-Zero, you can't play together, so we never ended up getting that, but now, knowing what I do now, I wouldn't get it for a launch title either.
Ah, interesting. So Super Mario World and Pilot Wings, of all things. Okay.
Right.
I was not expecting that. Colin.
What were you expecting?
Were you expecting F-Zero as a slam dunk, as well as I was?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah,
it's pretty, but
you threw us through a loop. Kevin.
Well, you know what the thing that also sucks about F-Zero is that you can't save your progress.
It saves your high scores, though.
Big deal.
High scores / race time.
So I'd have to start the whole game over every time, and I couldn't play with somebody.
But you can compete for best time.
Wow, that's super cool. Once I shut off my system, I don't care, you know?
Yeah, but no, it keeps your times on the cartridge.
Yeah, but like I'd have to run through the whole Grand Prix, do the same courses over and over again. You know, no.
Okay, all right.
I can't play F-Zero without like save states now, so I can continue where I left off. Whoa, burp.
All right, so I picked an adventure game and the racing game. Colin picked a shoot 'em up, and what would you qualify Ghouls and Ghosts? A side-scrolling platformer?
Torture. I would call it a side-scroller. Well, arcade
platformer.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay. And Kevin picked a flight simulator, which we've covered on the podcast before.
But it's an arcadey experience. Yeah.
And Super Mario World.
Yes.
Whom has the best game out of all these?
Me, obviously. Super Mario World.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Suck it, nerd!
Yeah, it's probably Super Mario World.
Yeah.
I think enough said there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that with the time frame of release in the US that there weren't. I mean, okay, look at it this way. When we look at game launch titles today, right? And we're about to do a launch titles theme cast. We're getting what, like 2 to 5 games per launch? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, but they all came out with like 2 games.
And then maybe a couple weeks later or a month later, a few more games come out, kind of deal.
It's almost like they planned before the internet. This is all you get, peasants, and then we'll feed you more. Like they wanted to sell consoles and be like, you just buy something.
Yeah.
You know?
I think one of the... I hate to say this, but TurboGrafx having Keith Courage and Alpha Zones as a launch title from the others I've seen on the list of games that were out at the time in Japan. Keith Courage was the pack-in title, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, and let's see, the console came out a week after the Genesis, which had Alter Beast as its pack-in title.
I'd rather play Keith Courage, to be fair.
Really?
Altered Beast is not good. Let's be real.
Oh.
It's interesting. It's amusing. It's not really, like, more fun than
it's definitely a lot harder.
Well, yeah, it's an arcade game. We were still in the era of, like, you know, arcade logic of, like, make game hard as fuck.
It's true.
And that is fun, right?
Yeah, well, and you'd get so good at it, then you'd finally beat it.
Right, but like Keith Courage was more like a Mario style platformer, if I remember correctly. And it was more like
kind of.
There was more of a drive to beat it, you know, as opposed to just play it like Altered Beast.
It was also heavily changed for the Western market. The original Japanese version, as weird as it sounds, I think would have been much more accepted as a game because you're it's very anime style, and then when it came over here it was very like 80s cartoon style for the US.
Smart move.
You think it was a smart move?
Hentai. Get rid of that hentai before it starts.
Okay.
Yes.
But no Gradius 3, Kevin?
Again, like, I don't know. I feel like if I got Gradius 3 back then, I would have been like, I'm putting myself in, like, 6-year-old Kevin mindset. Of, like, this is too hard. I can't get anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So, at least with Mario, like, there's a drive to beat it, and Mario's not impossible, but it's challenging enough. Whereas Gradius, I'd probably be like, what the fuck?
Well, I think, okay, look at it this way. And this is the way I was also looking at it. You get your 2 games. You're not getting... These games came out in August. You're not going to get a game till at least Christmas. You're not going to get another one. So these 2 games are going to have to last 4 months.
Right.
Right? You got to look long term. Right, Colin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Growing up with 2 brothers, the multiplayer factor in Mario and in Pilot Wings, I got to go with them.
Well, you're the youngest?
Nobody got their own shit. I'm the middle.
You're the middle. Ooh.
Yes.
I'm a youngest.
So I had to have somebody I can practice against and beat, and then someone I can compete against, like my brother.
Okay. See, at this time, I was an only child. So I was by myself.
You were like, haha, all the games are mine.
All the games are mine, but that's all I'm going to get.
Yep. There was that, and there was another point I was going to make that I just lost.
There's no sharing of games quite yet in my life.
Yeah. My older brother was also like a video game dictator, so whatever he wanted, we kind of got.
Okay.
It was kind of like, look, man, I make the rules around here. This memory card that saves many files, this is my memory card. No one else can use it. Let me tell you how many times I've seen the beginning of Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, you're definitely not wrong. I've played the beginning of Final Fantasy VIII like hundreds of times.
Because my brother was like, you can't save on my memory card. It'll overwrite my stuff. I'm like,
it'll overwrite my save file.
And that's not how it works, man, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Also, the dirtiest trick he used to tell us, not related to the games we're talking about. He used to, when we'd play NFL Blitz and he'd tell me my touchdown was the one at the bottom of the screen. Fucking dirty ass cheater. Because that was always the safety. Yeah.
Dirty ass cheater.
Yeah, my brother was a scumbag.
Oop.
Moving on.
Okay. So, I have links to the commercials. So I think at this point, each of the three systems has a equal view in our eyes of which one we could get at any point in time.
The Super Nintendo, right?
Uh-huh. I think it's hard to choose. So now we have to look at the ad campaigns. The true... what's the word I'm looking for?
Selling factor.
The true selling factor of any console is how it looks and how cool it looks to the child. All right?
Yeah.
So let me mark my little timestamp down here.
Open my browser, if you will.
And I have the links to the commercials, so get the first TurboGrafx one on the list and the agenda ready.
Is that the one entitled, let's make sure it's, okay, yep, it's coming to a TV near you?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
All right, it's loaded up.
3, 2, 1, 5.
Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Colin?
All right.
Apparently on
Discord,
Discord won't let me listen to it as I'm doing this. Weird.
All right. 3,
3,
2, 1, go.
It's coming soon to a television set near you. An incredibly advanced video game system. Are you ready for these amazing graphics and vibrant colors? Can you handle the speed and the power? How about the capacity for stereo sound and for 5 players? You decide before September, because it's coming. TurboGrafx 16, the higher energy video game system.
The higher energy?
Separately.
Game sold separately.
Of course, obviously.
A higher energy video game system. Yeah, that was his big tagline. It has vibrant colors, guys.
Whoa.
I saw a nice slew of games in that ad. All those different things you could possibly play. Why did it say coming in September? It launched before that.
I don't know.
beats me.
Okay.
Weird.
All right, not a bad commercial, not a bad ad. It didn't blow me away though.
So, fun fact, like I said, Discord, Discord's open, I can't hear them. So give me 1 second to set this next one up.
All right. So let's get the next
I don't
one
know
out.
why that
It is
happens.
titled
Yeah.
A Higher Video Game System. Higher Energy Video
Whoa.
Game System.
How high energy is it?
Oh, all the energy.
Whoa.
Is it Power Thirst Energy?
Whoa. Banana fizz bitch and
Science,
gun.
energy, science, energy.
Electrolytes, turbolites, more lights than your body has room for.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me. I think this is the right commercial. I have to watch it on my phone. So, all right, tell me when we're ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Introducing TurboGrafx 16, the next generation video game system.
There's Keith Courage again.
It's 4 times faster, so the games are more exciting. There are almost 10 times as many
Sick 90
colors,
kids are just
so
freaking
the
out over this
arcade
game.
quality graphics are even more
There's
intense.
Legendary Axe.
And you can expand your system with a CD player for CD games with sound effects that are turbocharged.
Fighting Street.
TurboGrafx 16 from NEC, the higher energy video game
Pretty
system.
ballsy of them to show Fighting Street because,
Well, that
was
was
bad.
an exclusive for the TurboGrafx. Dude,
Yeah.
if I was a kid and I saw that little ad for Legendary Axe, that would have been the game. That looked so cool.
Legendary Axe looks like Castlevania.
Kinda, yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there that maybe there's a conspiracy.
Well,
Huh.
this did launch before the Genesis and before the Super Nintendo. So as far as Turbo is concerned, NES was its big competitor, right?
It's true.
But it was 16 bits. It had higher energy colors and higher energy sound.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
Because it wasn't technically 16-bit
Hey,
console.
hey.
It was two
hey.
8-bit processors put together.
Hey,
Don't ignore the facts.
Yo, spoil sport over there.
Sorry, sir.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
If you were 5 years old and you could explain bits to me right now, I would have heard it. But you, as 5 years old, has been like, oh, 16 bits? That's better than 8. Screw you. That's
basic
twice as
math,
much.
You know?
That is math. All right. Okay,
Yeah,
you can't argue math.
I think so. It's true.
All right, let's get this third one going. It is titled "Next Generation is Here," but you got to start at 30 seconds. Otherwise, you'll get the Bill and Ted ad.
All right, got it.
Let me pause. Get to 30 seconds. Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
3,
Ready.
2, 1, go.
First, there was Atari. Then, there was Nintendo.
Now, the next generation video games, TurboGrafx 16 and TurboGrafx 16 for live
My God, the
video
colors,
games
everything's
and
moving so
2,000
fast.
times more memory. Turbo Express Portable.
If I saw that Sherlock Holmes ad, I would.
System $99.99. TurboGrafx 16. The next generation.
Buy that
Whoa,
Babbage's?
I gotta go back to see all those stores.
Babbage's, man.
All right, Toys R Us, Electronics Boutique, Babbage's. What is Babbage's?
Wow, back when it was called that.
Babbage's was Target before Target was Target.
Really?
Yeah, I remember only know that because my dad told me to go get something at Babbage's the other day. I was like, "Are you on fucking drugs?" And he was like, "I'm at Target." I'm like, "What the fuck is a Babbage?"
Montgomery Ward, Software, etc.
Yes.
McDuff Electronics, Video Concepts, and Sears Catalog. Not the store, the catalog.
Nice.
Do you guys notice that the Turbo was $100 at this point? In its price
because it
price
sold
tag?
like shit. Sold like shit.
No, just enough time had passed, and
Well, here's the thing that degrades that. Like, I'm happy I didn't get one as a kid because I would have been really pissed if I got like this new system that has no AV hookups or a second controller port. I would have been pretty pissed.
the TVs even.
Yeah, that's how we hooked up our NES.
I didn't have an AV port in the early 90s in any of my TVs. They all even. Yeah, I had to go through the what is that? The auxiliary cable,
The RF thing.
the RF. Yeah, I had to use all that, so that wouldn't have been an issue for me.
Well,
Yeah. Okay,
neat.
so I was a big fan of the higher energy video game system ad, the second one that we watched.
Electrolytes.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that. I think it showed off a good variety of games. The one that stood out to me the most was definitely Legendary Axe. I liked how it went through a few of them with the little subtitle of what game it was, so you know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. I think that would have been a good selling point for me.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the Genesis one now. This is your baby,
Classic.
Colin.
Okay.
Word.
So this ad is titled Genesis Does.
Oh, it does all
Oh,
right.
it does something.
Just say when.
3, 2, 1, go.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis.
Whoa, Buster Douglas Johnson is cool, man.
Joe Montana, Pat Riley, Buster Douglas.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or
See
Collins
the word
free.
free blinking a lot, which means it's probably
Buy a
free.
16-bit Genesis system between
So
now
many
and
free
October
games.
31st and get an extra game.
Whoa.
Genesis Does.
A lot of sports titles emphasis there.
There was a lot of sports titles. Big names to the sports titles though.
That's how you sell them, you know?
Yeah, it was really doing the it's the celebrity propaganda play,
The old WrestleMania move.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will admit, Colin, that was a very catchy song.
Yes, it was.
It also had those subtitles of the games in there.
Why are you saying it like Colin writ the song?
Well, Colin is trying to convince me to buy a Sega Genesis over the TurboGrafx 16. Okay.
Yeah, well, he didn't write
Damn
it.
right.
He hired somebody.
I mean, Ninten-don't do it, so that's also a fact, right?
Man,
Commercial
I
said
used to
so.
for that sick burn. Sick burn.
All right,
Nice.
Colin, you got to do a better job on selling me the Sega Genesis here.
Well, I'm kind of concentrating on keeping my family's stomping footsteps out of the audio, so it's a little hard to do two things at once.
That's what editing's for.
That's what editing's for. All right, So this next commercial is Sonic is fast and less.
Whoa. What?
What?
Gotta go.
Hey, what a concept.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Gotta go. Hey, guy, you're the first serious gamer I've seen all morning. Check this out. Brand new 16-bit Super
First
Nintendo
serious?
Super Mario World. Wow!
What's this one?
Oh, this is Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega Genesis. Hey, look at these radical colors, huh?
Wow, Sonic's fast, too.
Wow, Sonic's fast, too.
I like Genesis, and it costs a lot less.
Wait, kid, that game
I'll
there.
take Sonic and Genesis.
I knew that.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
He's so
More
upset.
action, more
Alright.
speed,
Well,
Sega
that
Genesis.
was
It's a whole lot
a
more.
shitty salesman because he's like, here are these two competing products. I don't want you to buy one of them. Let me the fuck next to each other.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
even,
agree.
you fucking idiot.
Well,
He's a shitty
he can't control how the store sets it up.
Well, he could at least be like, let's shut this TV off real quick. You fucking idiot.
Notice the Genesis was $50 cheaper than the Super Nintendo.
Well, you get what you pay for.
But Sonic looks fast.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Did you not hear
He's
the
gonna
cool
get home-
'90s kid and his cadence of his voice?
He's gonna get home and be like, wow, this is like the same like speed as Mario because only one level in Sonic There's one fast Sonic level. The rest are like normal platforming.
That is true.
Except the facts. Sonic isn't fast.
He is briefly.
He's briefly
Very
at certain
briefly.
times.
He goes fast for fast, if you will.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, did you not see the way the console looked compared to that
You got a
silly
good point.
gray and purple Super Nintendo thing?
Whatever, man. I like systems that look like Legos.
You know what I noticed in the 3 commercials that was absent in the Turbo graphics?
What's that?
What is that?
Only one of them actually showed the console.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the third one. With the twice as memory, twice as fast, twice the colors.
Yeah. It also had the Turbo CD and the portable thing.
Yeah. Well, in the second one, it showed the
showing
CD.
off all the hardware.
Yeah. Not a lot of hardware being shown off here.
Well, who cares as long as the system works, you know, man?
All right.
Yeah, true.
I did like the dude at the end. He's like, "I'll take Sonic." He's like, "I knew you would." That was funny. All right, third one, titled "Blast Processing," because had to.
Ooh.
Whoa, that's a real term.
It is. You guys ready?
No. Yes.
3,
Yes.
2, 1, go.
The Sega Genesis has blast processing. Super Nintendo doesn't.
Oh.
So what's blast processing do?
So fast.
Ooh, it's got Sonic 2.
Wow, that guy answered none of my. He answered none of my questions.
See Echo the Dolphin in that commercial? Like,
Yeah,
very
wow,
briefly.
cool. That's
Don't have blast
so fast.
Mario.
Super Mario Kart's in a jalopy. Sega Genesis is in a Sega. We all reacted the same. The dude in the drag racing car is going super fast.
I learned a lot from that commercial. I now know that I will, play Mario Kart, I guess.
Why would you play
Sega
Mario
Genesis
Kart? It's in a jalopy.
Drag racing.
I don't know, man. It just I can't catch the Genesis. It's going too fast, He stole it.
I really liked that commercial. That was fun.
So what you're telling me is, to play the Genesis effectively, I need to buy a drag racing car and just drive that instead? 90s commercials
It's
are
gonna
weird.
feel like you're in a drag racing car.
Whoa, I can drive as a kid, so that makes sense to me.
Okay.
So fast.
So
Yeah, I never even got so much as a Power Wheel growing up.
I had Hot Wheels, so
Whoa.
Hot Wheels and the Hot Wheel tracks. Made them.
Those were cool.
Those were so much fun. All right, I gotta say the Turbo Graphics ad campaign kind of lacking. The Genesis one, I hate to say it, the ads are kind of convincing me more. It just seems so much cooler.
It's extreme, bro.
Very extreme, yeah.
It's got tood.
It's also making fun of Nintendo a lot.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
if you can't beat them, shit talk them.
Well, might not be.
That's politics in a nutshell.
Might not be wrong on that one.
Your biggest supporters are your haters, you know.
Well, TurboGrafx was just saying saying all these things that are upgraded for its generation. But as a small child, I don't think I would have gotten that. Right? I don't think I would have understood. I just would have heard like twice as much. That's better, right?
Compared to what?
Exactly. Compared to I don't know. All right, so the first Super Nintendo commercial is titled "Now You Were Playing with Superpower."
Whoa,
super.
Whoa.
I have heat vision now.
3.
I have X-ray vision.
2, 1, go.
Yes, I always play this
This kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying.
Kid's got some good aim.
Feeling. When you
Just
decide
slam
to
it
get
in.
serious, there's only one place to come. The games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience. Because no one else creates.
How is he playing all those games at once?
Now you're playing with power. Superpower.
I'm really glad that drive-in theater just let him play.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There's like kids behind
Yeah.
kids behind steel fences, and
Pretty sure this is a cult.
he's wearing leather jackets. They're all gathering like zombies around the Super Nintendo controller.
Probably a cult.
Yeah.
Slams it in like it's 2 feet above him. The cartridge.
Gonna bend the pins that way, bro.
Big what is the har dude's voice? Now you're playing with superpower. Whoa. Radical dude. Alright, so this is a Super Mario World commercial.
Almost there.
It was
Right,
I did notice this much easier when I was typing in the games we're playing for the cast and looking for the specific commercial for it. It was much easier to find the Super Nintendo ones.
Remember that time Nintendo did ads?
Yeah. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Introducing the next generation from Nintendo. New Super Mario World. Created especially for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more secret, a bit more enemies, a bit more friends, a bit more sound, a bit hotter, a bit cooler, a bit weird, a bit more revolutionary, a bit more Mario,
Like how it showed the
a bit
ending of
more
the
of
game
what
on the
you want.
commercial.
It's 16-bit, and it's
Oh, no,
yours
you
only
spoiled
to get
Mario
New Super
for me.
Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
This dude was on crack during this.
But he just kept saying, a bit. I demand a lot.
A bit more of this, a bit more of that. A bit more of weird? A bit more of what was the question one?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but he was like, a bit more of this? Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. He was talking really fast in that commercial too.
Well, yeah. If you can show blast processing, you can show like fast other stuff, right?
Fast other
I don't know
stuff.
how it works. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that's not my favorite commercial, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was really odd how they were showing off Mario World, where it started off with the overworld map, and he's like, "Look how awesome this is!" It's just going along, going to low level.
He did name 16 a bit more this thing, so you know.
It was 16 of them, right? And it's a 16-bit console. See, they're all 16-bit.
Yes.
Kevin,
That's science.
all right,
So,
That's math.
that's math. It's very important.
Whoa.
It's very important. 1991, all this math. All right, and this is a Link to the Past commercial.
Oh,
The last
I gotta
one.
get it loaded. Hold on, let me get loaded up. Oh, fuck. Hold on, the data.
The data.
My data. Or data, as the French call it, you know. Is this like as good as It's the Legend of Zelda and it's
No,
those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad.
it's not that one, but we're gonna find out. All right, you ready?
Fuck. No, I copied the wrong thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I've just deleted the link. Oh, there it is.
no.
Oh no. Hold on. Give me a second. Transfer to my phone. Because Discord reasons, you know.
Right, of course. We all have these issues.
All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
This time it
Oh,
calls
he's
you
climbing a
to
mountain before Breath of the Wild.
good against evil.
It's Excalibur.
To a quest few are prepared for.
Link does do that.
Well, sick flip.
Yeah.
But perhaps
Also, why is it that guy looks more like fucking
Looks like Lucas from The Wizard.
It's the game that's already a legend. The Legend of Zelda, a link to the past.
Okay, so I know nothing about the game.
Now you're playing with
They didn't even show any footage.
Good.
Yeah, they didn't show a single footage of the game. It was just this dude climbing a mountain grabbing a sword.
So he did a flip, dude.
He did do a flip. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's cool.
He had a really sick curly mullet too.
Yeah.
He didn't
You gotta
have a
get
leather
those
jacket
perms.
like the Sega Genesis commercial guys.
Dude, he had a perm. It was cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone mind if I go take a leak real quick?
Well,
Absolutely
you can do that
do.
as Kevin and I will
Well,
will discuss which commercial was the best and convinced me the most.
All right, I'll be right back.
I mean, the obvious. I hate to tell you, the best commercial was the Genesis does.
I really like that commercial. That one really stood out. And it was very easy to find as well.
Yeah. Genesis does what Ninten-don't. And like they had a good selection of games to show off. Like they were like big sprite graphics. You know, it really showed off the detail of like the games you were playing.
And it had I am a huge fan of the subtitle of the game being in the game you're showing in the commercial.
Yeah. So that was good. Are we doing worst commercial or no?
Worst commercial?
I see the Zelda one because I don't know fucking dick about that.
Yeah, it
game,
didn't tell us anything about it.
Nope, I just saw a guy with a perm do a cool flip.
It was it was very much. It even said in the commercial, the game that's already a legend. So they're expecting you to already know what Zelda is because of the first game.
I should have known already then. Damn. Can't believe I didn't know.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm very disappointed in the TurboGrafx commercial.
Yeah, I'm sorry, nothing stood out about this. I couldn't even call them bad. I was just like, yep, those existed.
They just felt like regular commercials. Wasn't very convincing.
Yeah.
So just in the ad campaigns alone, I totally see why Sega Genesis was so hot, right?
Yeah, they came out swinging.
Yeah, exactly. And the Turbo releasing the week after, I could totally see kids just going, either never saw a commercial or just goes, you would immediately forget about it. There was nothing memorable, right?
Right. So, I don't know. I'm not super... I never would have bought a Turbo, personally. Nintendo at least had a legacy, so I guess they can get away with commercials kind of being lame.
Well, yeah, the NES was super popular already, right?
Right.
So they're trying to more or less convince you on the games themselves rather than the power of the system, right?
Right.
Yeah. TurboGrafx just didn't do either. It was just saying it was always saying it was the first 16, the more colors, the more this higher energy video game system. That was it. A couple of the games looked really cool in the commercial, but I couldn't find specific. I tried to find a Bonk commercial, and I couldn't do it.
I don't think there was one. I can't even think of one when I show commercials of like things popular. I don't think I saw one Bonk commercial.
Yeah, on the Next Generation is Here. Bonk was in it, but you didn't know who he was, right?
He was Caveman Man.
He was Cave Boy.
Cave Boy Man.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
And that's why Colin is the worst game player ever.
Oh,
you get it, JD?
I agree.
Oh, hey, Colin, you're back. Whoa. Sorry, bro.
Colin, what was your favorite and least favorite commercial to convince you otherwise?
Let me see. Think.
What is
probably the now you're playing with superpower would be the most convincing.
Oh, the leather jacket boy in the drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, it looked the coolest. It had some of the coolest games for the system.
You know what? It also reminded me of that Crossfire commercial.
Oh yeah,
Crossfire.
Post-apocalyptic showdown atop the volcano mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
As for least favorite,
Say it.
Probably the live action Link to the Past.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, we all
good.
chose the worst
Yeah.
one. That's pretty cool.
Kind of
Because
sucks.
no gameplay footage, and you barely saw the game title in the commercial. There's just Zelda carved into the mountain, but no Link to the Past anywhere.
All right. So 2 out of 3 of us picked Sega Genesis does, and then Colin ended up switching teams to Super Nintendo.
Huh.
So let me ask you this: why didn't you choose any of the TurboGrafx commercials, as good or bad?
Eh.
They're fucking lame.
Yeah, there's... I don't know. I just didn't find them as convincing.
Yeah, I didn't either. Very, very much a bummer. So price didn't have any impact on our console choices. The launch titles were pretty even themselves, I would say. More or less.
I mean, I literally had Super Mario World, but okay.
Well, I know you did.
You know, fucking Super Mario World. Don't say they're even compared to your fucking Bonk.
Bonk wasn't a launch title.
Whatever.
PC
You know what I'm
Genjin
trying to
was
do.
not part of that.
Can you just fucking go along with me for once, please? I need this.
Huh.
All right, so true question here.
Yes.
Judging by what you played as a kid, right?
Okay.
And you had a choice between these 12 games, right? Which game do you think you would see yourself wanting the most?
Motherfucking Super Mario World, dude.
Okay.
Same.
Colin, you're also the same?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would have probably gone with F-Zero of all of them.
Yeah?
With how I played games as a kid and what my parents would allow me to buy, what would be something I'd gravitate the most towards, I'm pretty sure I would have gone with F-Zero. I mean, if we're being truly honest, if there was a sports title, I would have just gone with that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Times have
1,000%
changed.
over it. But there was no sports titles that were launched with the console, so I would have to go with something else, and a driving game would probably be the one, right? So that'd be F-Zero Victory Run, and F-Zero would just look the coolest to me.
But now you could drive in space.
Ooh.
I think in space.
Whoa.
F-Zero space.
So by the games themselves, we all chose Super Nintendo. By the ad campaign, we all chose Genesis. Well, except
it's almost
Colin.
like the turbo. It's almost like the turbo graphics was irrelevant. Fuck.
It was easily forgettable, I think, is the deal.
Whoa.
And their launch titles weren't appealing enough to children.
Or at all.
Or at all. I think that was the
Yeah,
idea behind Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, but the game wasn't good enough.
It had a rainbow in it. I mean, you know.
So,
rainbows are cool.
all right. Now on to the games themselves that we cover for the cast. Much quicker. Little segment here. Got 6 games. We each have 2. So, I'm gonna play Sonic.
Go for it.
What if you want to try? I learned so much in themes.
Oh my god.
Sega.
Sega! You have to do it that way. Sega!
No, I like the jingle.
You guys remember how violent the Sega Saturn commercials were?
With that fucking what's his name? The karate dude that would just come kick your ass if you weren't playing a Saturn.
Yeah.
Segata Sanchiro.
What? Yeah, Gesundheit.
So apparently in the TurboGrafx ad campaign, they had like this dude called Johnny Turbo.
Yep.
Be way into it, but I couldn't find an actual commercial about Johnny Turbo. It was
he was more in they had their own magazine.
Yeah, he was in
like
the magazines. I was like,
there.
wow, this is weird.
Right.
He would have
So
been
you may have Go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he would have been so much cooler if he was like in a leather jacket with kids, just being like, "Hey kids, come check out Johnny Turbo." Johnny Turbo's got a TurboGrafx.
Number 2, Johnny Turbo is still alive today in a form. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
If you look on the Switch, on the eShop, there's some arcade games being released under the label Johnny Turbo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I think some guy who just puts out like weird old arcade games. He just calls them like Johnny Turbo's Arcade.
Okay.
Possible reference, or is Johnny Turbo still alive? Was he not killed by NEC? Who knows?
Yeah. So I wrote down my notes for the games. Again, we got developer, published, released. I also wrote in not just the price, but how much the game would clock in at when you got like good enough to beat it. So nice little additive there for this one. So I'm going first. These are the PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16 games. My first one here is Bonks Revenge. Bonk is the mascot of the TurboGrafx at this point. He's a little cave boy. We've covered the first game on the podcast before, so went with the sequel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Game is about $35 today. These are prices what they go for today.
Yes.
Not counting reproduction carts, of course. Developed by Red Company, published by Hudson Soft, released in 1991. Hudson Soft was the main developer with NEC and the TurboGrafx in general. Hudson Soft was the exclusive company, so think of like the Rare of the time for this console, the Naughty Dog, if you will, that kind of company. The game clocks in around 2 hours when you get good enough to beat the game in a single sitting, which I was able to do. It took me about 4.5 hours to complete the game the first time, and then I liked it so much, I ended up playing it again and beat it in about 2 hours for a time through. So when it was all said and done, it had a lot of replay value with me. There's new enemies, and because we've covered the first game on the podcast, I'm able to compare it, right? So there's a lot of new enemies. It introduces a whole lot of variety. So now you can headbutt the enemies and flowers, and they garner different reactions from them. So if you headbutt a flower, before it would just die, or it would just spit out a smiley face. Now it could give you like 1-ups or different things. So it gets you to you get more gameplay out of your levels. You could also there's also branching areas along the levels now. So and there's a lot more diversity to them. So I could find hidden areas, whether that was things to spring off of, headbutting different walls or whatnot, and things would, you could now go left or right or even down the levels. So they were much bigger this time around. A lot more exploration to do and the like. And I really liked the host of new abilities for Bonk himself, the little cave boy. I felt much more engaged with the character. I had twice as much fun as the sequel, or as the first game. So the sequel gave me a lot more satisfaction in what I was playing. So I could ground pound, and that would actually do damage to enemies. It would kind of make the head seem more devastating. Like an earthquake would go off, and the enemies would kind of go upside down or jump off the ground or whatever. You could wall jump in this game, like Ninja Gaiden style, right? That was really cool. So I wasn't constantly biting the sides of walls and jimmy jamming all the way up. Mm-hmm. And there were kooky little items scattered throughout levels. My favorite one was definitely the propeller seed. So you'd get a seed, you'd grab onto it, and you'd kind of float across the level, so you could go across lava pits and the like. Bonks Revenge is a must-have for TurboGrafx owners. This was one of my favorite platformers I've played for the podcast. I've had this game for a while, and I've actually never played the second one. I played the first and the third one a lot more. So I found myself very addicted to this. The exploration and finding different things throughout the levels gives it a ton of replay value. The colors were twice as vibrant. The sound was very similar. It didn't feel like it was updated or upgraded at all. It had a lot of the same soundtrack as the first one, and it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, because I did love the soundtrack of the first game. They did add a couple things to different levels. Like if I was on a water level, it had more of a water level vibe, as it should. Things like that. It was very enjoyable. And being that it came out in 1991 and the console came out in 89, so you've had the console, let's say you got it on release day, and you got your couple launch titles. You may got a couple more titles the year after. Bonks Revenge would have been hot on my list if I had gotten the first one and I enjoyed it, which I did. This one really ramped it up. It was must have for sure. So, have you guys played Bonks Revenge before?
No.
Nope.
Nope. Well, based on what I said, have I convinced you of anything? Well, we've all played the first one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I dabbled in the first one. But...
Okay. So does this sound like it's even better than the first one? Because I remember, Kevin, you weren't feeling the first one too much.
It's fine. It's just I'd rather play Mario, Yeah.
This felt a lot more like your Mario, your Sonic, with its own spin on things. I think the most fun moment, there's actually levels where it scrolls up, right? So you're going up, kind of like the third level in Contra.
Doodle jump, yes.
Doodle jump. So Bonk bites like tree branches and vines, and he spins on them, and you flip yourself up. That was really cool.
That'll be good for your teeth.
Yeah, right? Well, he's a cave boy. He's got strong teeth. He eats a lot of calcium.
Obviously, yes.
Pure calcium. He eats the bones of his enemies.
Brush his teeth every day, I'm sure.
Bone marrow and the like.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, and my second game is Zonk. PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16.
Zonk.
The game is very expensive today. It's $100 minimum. So
holy shit.
This is definitely one you repro for like $40 to $60. Developed by.
Would you say it's as good as Rayman on Atari Jaguar?
You mean the non-released
That's
3DO version?
Expensive?
Don't do this.
Don't do this. No, I have to stick to the TurboGrafx here. I would say immediately this is better than Rayman, actually. And I really liked Rayman. Developed also by Red Company, published by Hudson Soft, released in 1992, so a year has gone by yet again. So we're in the future now of the console.
Most people do.
And we can assume that Bonk's distant generational cousin has now become half cyborg because we're in the distant future, and now he's Zonk. And because it's
Zonk, just a prequel to Detroit Become Human.
Right? It's the cartoon prequel. And because we're in the future, now we're flying, and it's a shoot-'em-up game. Game clocks in around 90 minutes once you get good enough to beat the game in one sitting. So,
what value?
So I clocked in around 4.5 to 5 hours in my total play time, just beat it the first time, right? And then I got very much closer. I cut it in half immediately upon my second playthrough. So I was able to beat both these games twice for the podcast. And I suck at shoot-'em-ups. So the fact that I could beat this game at all was already a big plus for me. Right?
Is it worth the $100, though?
$100 it is not.
Yeah.
Cut that price in half, then we're talking.
All right, you got me.
So...
tough negotiations there.
Yeah. It does a lot of the collecting that Bonk has, right? So we're sticking with the mascot, but now the mascot is in a totally different game and feel. You collect the smiley faces, and once you collect enough, you get a big sunglasses smiley face to summon what I have termed as a super friend. Because of the whole Justice League and all that stuff at the time. No? You guys remember the super best friends?
Yeah, no. They
never watched it, but I've heard of it.
I've never had super best friends, sorry.
You never had super best friends? You just had best friends?
Nope. Nobody was ever like that cool. I was like, oh, you guys are alright, I guess.
So this is probably the coolest part in the game. Bear in mind that the enemies are super stylized, they're super cartoony, they're really funny. And then when you collect and get your super best friend,
as you do,
I mean, there's a dump truck, there's a baseball player, there's a gotcha machine wearing a top hat, guys.
What's a gotcha machine?
You know those machines where you stick in a quarter, you turn the thing, and you get a little ball that comes out?
Got it.
And there's a little toy in the ball?
That's where I got Tina's engagement ring, yes.
For 50 cents, right?
They're all over the place in Japan.
I could have bought a pinball machine, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is it's a gotcha machine wearing a top hat. And then when you collect more of the smiley faces, so it really wants you to go out of your way to avoid the bullets while collecting these things, because you get the super power-ups, get your super best friend power-ups. And it's sort of random, but it also, when you unlock the super best friend in the level, so there's like you're going through a baseball stadium, that's when you unlock the baseball player, right? And then you will morph after collecting all these smiley faces into your super best friend. So you do like a Dragon Ball Z morphing situation there. So you become a super baseball player that you can now pitch baseballs, 100 of them at a time. You have a baseball bat to bash enemies. You morph with the dump truck, and now you're a flame-throwing dump truck. You're the gotcha machine. You morph into it, and now you're spitting all the gotcha balls at your enemies in all directions. It's really fun. Yeah. I struggled with it at first because I suck at shoot 'em ups, but hot damn was I not immediately addicted to all the colors going around. There's a cow at one point, and the cow shoots milk.
As they do.
As cows shoot milk, but put that in a cartoony sense, and what do you think that looks like?
Oh no. Looks like Splatoon 2.
It looks like the white Splatoon 2 goo. Going all across the screen. And funny enough, yes, I can admit right now I have the reproduction Japanese version of the game, which cost me like $30.
Wow, cheater.
The American version was censored for the cow milk splooge.
Yes, they put chocolate milk in there, eh?
Oh no.
That would have been too easy.
So that was kind of a funny thing. There's so much to love about this game. The music is very addicting. It's got so much personality. It's really a shame that this game goes for $100 if you want the true copy. But holy shit, I would very much rather have the Japanese version of the game. It's a shoot 'em up, so there's no need for any of the there's no need for English. It has no impact on the game whatsoever.
Wasn't the turbo region locked?
The turbo was region locked.
Bastards.
But you can get like the Japanese version to work on your turbo graphics. You know.
You can't do that. That's illegal.
Well,
you're not allowed.
But at the time, if I was a kid in 1992 and I got the American Air Zonk, I would have liked it all the same. I just wouldn't have gotten the cow splooge.
You'd be like, why is this milk shooting out?
And honestly, you know, I'm 5-6 years old. 4 playing this game when it came out. If I would have played it when it came out, I wouldn't have known what cow splooge would be. I'd just been like, yeah, cows have milk, you shoot milk. That's what my naive, childlike, pure mind would have thought.
You think the first guy to look at a cow udder and just drank whatever came out was a little weird or no?
You know what? He probably kicked the udder and like white stuff came out and he goes, ew.
He was like, whoa, gross.
I wonder what this tastes like.
As you do.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, 2 amazingly fun games. I am still going to gravitate towards the platformer game, Bonks Revenge, more. Because I think it has a ton more replay value. And I definitely found it all. The shoot 'em ups, as much as I like them, they still require a good amount of skill to it all. And it is a shorter game. If this was a longer game, I would recommend it a whole of a lot more. But these 2 games are definitely must-haves. I love them.
Cool.
All right, Colin.
I might check them out later.
Colin, you are up, sir.
On my emulator. All right. Time for the best system of the generation, Sega Genesis. I'm going to start with start with the big face of the system, Sonic the Hedgehog. The very first one. We covered Sonic 2 in a previous cast.
We did.
But now we're going for the first one, the OG.
The OG.
It's developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. Released on June 23rd, 1991, worldwide on the Sega Genesis.
Interesting. So that's 2 years after the Genesis came out.
Yeah?
Just about, yeah. I thought Sonic was much closer to a launch title than that.
Nope.
Huh.
Ultra Beast was there like, this is the selling point, man. We got this.
Well, in any case, I have so many memories of this game growing up. Because I played it so often at a friend's house. Because my friend actually lived directly across the block from me, so literally a hop, skip, and a jump away for me to visit. We'd play a ton of games on his Genesis and NES, although technically they were his older brother's systems.
Gasp.
Gasp.
Yep. Streets of Rage 2 and Splatterhouse 2 were among them, but Sonic was
too
a big
violent.
staple.
Splatterhouse was also on the TurboGrafx.
Whoa.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking awesome game.
Inferior ass
I'm
console.
talking 2 here.
Okay.
Anyways, Sonic was a pretty big staple, and as a result, the Green Hill Zone theme is forever ingrained in my memory, as it is with many other kids of the time. Never did get past Marble Zone, but hey, we had a ball regardless. And then he moved a couple years later, and I barely ever saw him again. 'Twas a sad day indeed.
And he took his Genesis with him, I imagine.
No, he gave it to Colin.
And then my parents gave it away.
Bastards.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It's just... Sure, it was designed pretty much to show off the Sega Genesis hardware, but it still succeeded at its job, and it's still a lot of fun to play even after the first level. Because one common criticism of the game that Kevin pointed out earlier is that after the Green Hill Zone and you start Marble Zone, the pacing basically grinds to a halt because it turns into a pretty standard platformer after that.
There is almost no more going fast.
Yeah, you just... No more zipping around, no more loop-de-looping. I mean, there's a little bit of it in some of the later levels, but it doesn't...
Chemical Zone.
That was Sonic 2.
Wasn't there a Chemical Zone in the first one?
Fucking
there
got
was
him.
There was the Scrap Brain Zone. But I know there was a Water Zone. It was like the Labyrinth. I forget the full name. But no, I don't think there was a Chemical Zone.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I might be thinking of the Starlight Zone in the first one then.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be it.
Yeah. There's always at least one other level with that has you go super fast again, and there's branching paths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like the main selling point of this game is the speed, so to suddenly discourage it in Marble Zone and all that is pretty jarring.
Well, that's a bummer.
Although, the speed itself can sometimes work against you. I remember Yahtzee reviewing Sonic Mania, and one quote that stood out to me was, "You have no way of knowing if a given path will take you to a lovely secret or will lock you into a gun barrel that fires you halfway across the map through 9 loop-the-loops and the intestinal tract of a whale before slamming a point of no return door shut behind you with a great big middle finger painted on it."
Kevin, did you get all that?
I did.
That's how
Sonic works.
Sums it up very, very nicely.
Sonic is weird.
The game clocks in around 2 hours.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
If you know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing. It always the first one always takes me, well, a game over most of the time, but usually takes me about 4 to beat the game.
We should do it faster. That's what Sonic would have wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scrap Brain Zone, which is the last zone, I think a lot will agree with me when they say it is so frustrating. It's hard as shit. I mean, you got platforms that will either disappear or swing out from under you, flame-spewing pipes in the floors and ceilings that spray at very inopportune times, and then saw blades that'll chase you across certain sections, little pylons that shoot out electric bolts to the sides. It's hard as shit. Although I found running in a circle on some of the rotating gears to be a pretty cool mechanic. Something Sonic Mania took and improved upon.
Mm-hmm.
But the third level of that section, being a water stage, is insult to injury.
Right.
I feel no shame in stating I save stated the hell out of that section. But regardless, it's a very fun game overall. It looks cool. It has really fun visuals and graphics, and characters' designs are really enjoyable. And the endings are pretty funny. I mean, if you didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds, it ends with Robotnik just juggling the ones you didn't get. But if you do get all of them, you just see him stomping around like a kid throwing a tantrum. It's pretty funny.
I mean, he is the fastest thing alive, so he can do whatever he wants. Robotnik, not Sonic, by the way. He's faster.
And his machines.
No, if you look at it when Sonic's chasing him, who's supposed to be the fastest thing alive, how come Robotnik is outrunning him at pace?
You got
so Robotnik is faster than Sonic, confirmed.
Huh. Yeah, I give this one an easy pass. I mean, the later 2D games are better, if only because they're adding to what already works about this game, but this was a really good starting point for the series.
I would say Sonic had a better if we're just looking at the sequels and what happened, Sonic the Hedgehog had a much better foothold than what Bonk did on the first game. I will admit that fully.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So, second game from the greatest console on our docket. Phantasy Star IV, The End of the Millennium. It is developed and published by Sega. Released on the Sega Genesis in Japan on December 17th, 1993, in North America in February of 1995, and in the EU on December 8th, 1995.
End of the lifespan, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew? But then again, fourth game in the series.
What? You know, while you're talking about it, I'm going to look up the third game, because the third game was a massive disappointment. Oh, yeah. I've played the third one, and I hate that one.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But the plot is as follows. 1,000 years after the events of Phantasy Star II, in which the planet-sized biocomputer Mother Brain... Yep, major Metroid reference there.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah, Mother Brain was destroyed, and as a result throws the once prosperous solar system-wide civilization that it ran into ruin. One planet of said solar system is Motavia, where the game begins. We play as Chaz Ashley. Yes, that is his name. A young mercenary who gets pulled into a plot involving an evil magician named Zio, insert JoJo reference here,
Whoa.
Who wants to wipe out the solar system, and he and his companions must stop him. So yeah, pretty epic scale story going on here, especially with the first two games' events tying into it. And as far as Phantasy Star 3 is concerned, that's a pretty much completely separate story from 1, 2, and 4. I mean, same universe, but its events have no bearing on 4.
Well, also the gameplay was, it went backwards with a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite things about the Phantasy Star, I really like 2. It's just a little grind heavy.
Yeah.
4 is a lot less grind heavy. What 2 and 4 did was when you're in your battle, it will show the sprites attacking the enemy, right?
Yeah.
In the third one, it went backwards and it just would flash when the enemy would so you choose your character to attack the enemy. It would just show a slash going across the screen like Pokemon style. Wouldn't actually show an attack.
Sounds like Earthbound.
Right. Very much backwards in what even the previous 2 games did. And because the story was so separated from the universe of Phantasy Star, it didn't do so well. While in this fourth one here, they brought it all back together and made it look a whole hell of a lot better.
Cool. Yeah, the game has really good graphics and visuals. It was just fantastic. Yeah, according to Wikipedia, the original Phantasy Star game was one of the first RPGs to have characters with predefined personalities and abilities.
Yep.
Which most RPGs at the time didn't have. It just had fully customizable characters, a la D&D or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's also one of the earliest examples of a game with an actual female protagonist. So there you go.
Women can't do with that.
And the game, one thing I really like about the game is that it doesn't waste any time getting to the action. It's just you press start, suddenly just quick conversation with your mentor, and then you're off to try and do a job, which over time you get pulled into the interstellar conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, after the initial dungeon, the game kind of stretches things out a lot. I mean, you find yourself going a long distance on what is basically a fetch quest, stretched across 3 towns and 2 dungeons. It just kind of felt like unnecessary padding. But it's got a really good 90s anime aesthetic. It's a lot like Lunar the Silver Star and Ys 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked that. Yeah. Noisy family.
Yeah, I could hear that. It's fun.
Bad nephews! Bad! Anyway. The gameplay is fairly standard turn-based combat JRPG fare, but that's not a bad thing. It's intuitive, although the various terms used for spells are pretty obtuse. It's like 3 or 4 letter, or 3, 4 or 5 letter things at a time. So you have to have a manual at your side to know what's what. It's kind of annoying that the battle commands are shown as icons rather than words, because if you want to do physical attack, it's an icon of a sword. If you want to do magic, it's a sparkly thing, similar to the Sonic Invincibility.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got the whole random battle thing going on, but I don't hold that against it because product of the time and such.
Sure.
And one cool thing about it is that it actually has combo attacks, which I thought Chrono Trigger had pioneered, but that game came out 2 years late after this one, so I just thought that was an interesting little factoid. Although I find Chrono Trigger does it in a more intuitive way. When I played it, just kind of happened at random, if I had more than one person doing magic at a time. And yeah, this game really impressed me. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was.
I wouldn't lead you astray, Colin.
As you said before. Yeah, it flows really well. It's like, just as you say about Parasite Eve, it just rolls. It doesn't screw around, at least not too much. Just stays the course.
Yeah, and I think that's what keeps it to a like a 20-25 hour game rather than a 40 to 50 hour game.
Yeah, I like that. There's just so many games in my backlog that would be like 40 or 50 hours, so this was kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. The game goes for about $47 these days, so it's, for an RPG, that's not too egregious, I would say.
Yeah. Especially for one as good as this one.
Yeah. One of my favorite aspects about what Phantasy Star IV does is the comic book manga panels during conversations.
Yeah, I really like that.
It really engrosses you more into the story being told, rather than what, say, the Final Fantasy games do. It's just text going across the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of love in this game, a lot to like. The sprites are very detailed. Everything's very detailed in the game. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you get characters doing detailed attack animations, both your characters and the enemy sprites. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It's not a game that comes up in casual conversation for what the Genesis is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel, after playing this, I feel Phantasy Star is a very underrated series.
Yeah, so the idea that I had for these 6 games is we each have the mascot, right? Bonk,
Yep.
Sonic, Kevin's going to talk about Mario, and then the second game would be like the RPG, the action-oriented one with another type of mascot type thing.
Yeah.
So Zonk would be the turbo. In Phantasy Star's case, it's the RPG, right? Because Sega didn't have that second mascot, right?
Nope. Well,
Well,
Alex Kidd.
well, that was the Master System.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Details.
Fine.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you really liked Phantasy Star IV, Colin.
Yeah, it was a very pleasant surprise.
It's a shame it came out so late in the console's lifespan.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I think that's what was
Okay.
holding it back.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and play the first 2 games now.
Whoa.
Just if I want a shorter RPG experience.
Well, the first 2 are not shorter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the grind is heavy. That's what holds it back.
shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play it while listening to YouTube videos.
Yeah. The second one is among my favorite RPGs. If it was less grind heavy, it'd be rated a lot higher. Yeah, because the story is a lot of fun.
They should totally remaster the first 4 games. Well, maybe not so much 3, but if they remastered these or remade them to be more intuitive and have more detailed stories, then I'd be totally on board with that.
I would like the Phantasy Star franchise to at least return. I mean, there's Phantasy Star Online. That's a thing.
Yeah, I know it was on the GameCube, but who really bought the internet adapter?
Right. So, Kevin, you're up, good sir.
Where do we start? Probably Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, developed and published by a little company. You might have heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe known as the Nintendos. You've heard of them?
The Nintendos.
Sounds familiar.
I think I've heard of them.
Vaguely familiar.
They still around?
Yeah. My uncle works there, so. Released in Japan at November 21st, 1990. In North America, August 13th, 1991. In Europe, coming in slow, April 11th, 1992.
As they always
Europe
do.
used to always get... Yeah, they always used to get screwed. Poor Europe. You gotta slow down their refresh rates, you know? Take some time. You say the game clocks in around 5.5 hours. I played this game for way longer than that. I feel like this game actually goes on forever.
Well, that's
it feels a lot
that's the
longer.
beginning to the end if you just go straight through it.
Right. It feels a lot longer than that, even doing that. I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's just me. But yeah. Fun platformer. The first thing I always do when I turn this game on is I go to, I forget what the first roll is called, but you go to the left, you turn that big yellow switch on, and then that gives you more access to platforms, which becomes a big mechanic in this game. Finding all the hidden platforms to find branching paths. But, like, look, in hindsight, this is like it's actually one of my least favorite Mario games.
Really?
I don't like the aesthetic of this game at all. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, it doesn't take away from the gameplay, but I just think this game looks really ugly. I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but like, other than Bowser, Bowser looks terrifying.
I disagree. This is probably my favorite 2D Mario.
Yeah. Maybe it's because of all the Flash games, and it makes me think of like cheap little knockoffs, and everyone uses this aesthetic.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. I saw it a lot on Newgrounds.
Yeah. Could be that. I'm not going to take that away. Overall, like, this Mario game is... I don't even know what to say about it. That hasn't been said. It's one of the most popular games of all time. I'm trying to think.
It's the same with Sonic.
Yeah. I will say I don't like the cape as much as I like something like the Tanuki leaf. That's like a personal choice, I guess. But that cape does come into play a lot. The flying mechanic.
I do like the transformations a lot more and the items a lot more in Mario 3.
Yeah, there was more variety. I think it kind of actually took a step back from Mario 3.
I will admit something right here now.
Oh no.
So I had an NES, and my friends had a Super Nintendo. I had Mario 3. They had Super Mario World. Not because I had the game and I was able to play it more. My friends and I would gravitate more towards replaying Mario 3 over Mario World.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we played the shit out of Mario World, but we always went back to Mario 3.
I just feel like there's way more to do.
Yes. And there's the whole like competition aspect. You want you want to conquer the most worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And be better than your friends. I would.
There was also.
I barely got to play Mario 3 throughout my life, so maybe I need to go back and have a look at that one. It was way more often people had Mario World instead of Mario 3. I mean,
it goes back and forth, I feel like.
Yeah.
On the internet.
I do remember it was popular to the point of having its own fruit snacks.
Well, marketing.
Yeah.
So
I think I actually ate them at one point. They weren't bad.
You're going to turn into a Mario now.
Gonna turn into a Mario?
Yeah.
Where'd this cape come from?
Oh no, mushrooms, you're doing drugs again.
Doing caffeine.
Yeah. I don't know, the Mario world is... It's fun. It's just like, I don't know, I beat it once and I don't really have the drive to go back. And then you know what else I hate? That forest... There's like a time, I forget what forest area you're in, but I was like, oh, the next level isn't popping up. What do I do? And I had to find the secret exit. But if I had to find the secret exit, why are you going to make it a fucking secret?
Yeah.
I forget what level that is, but I remember just going in a loop and I'm like, oh, there's clearly a secret.
Oh, I know what you're... Yeah, it's the one with the... what are they called? The little worm guys.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, if it's a secret, make it a fucking secret. Don't make it a requirement,
Yeah.
I get they were trying to be like, oh, we put secrets in the game. I'm like, you did that in Mario 1, you dipshit. No. I hated that part, and then I had to look up where it was, because I was lazy. But, yeah. Overall, Mario World, good game. I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said before. It's not like it's a game nobody's heard of. What else do we say about Mario World, guys? Good game?
No,
Very
it's a
good
shitty game. I hate it. Sonic's better.
All right.
Bonk is better.
Alright, well, JD sounds like his normal self, so anyone else?
Sega does what Nintendo don't. Sonic.
Whoa, Sega.
Sega.
Essentially, you should play Mario World on the Genesis.
The higher video game system.
The higher energy?
The higher energy video game system.
Yeah. Word.
All right.
How about that last shitty Super Nintendo game you're going to talk about?
Fucking stupid-ass Link to the Past. Developed by that overrated-ass company, Nintendo, again. Around $20 you can get it for. Actually, so I got to think about Zelda games that I'm going to take a hot take on. First of all, number one, 2D games are better than the 3D ones. Ooh. Number two, the only thing I don't like in this game is, I hate in Zelda games when you have to go from overworld to, another overworld, and one affects the other. I get super confused in those of, what affects this in this world, what affects that and that. So, how do I start Legend of Zelda? What do we talk about? You start the game waking up in the middle of the night in the storm, and your uncle goes, you stay here. I'm going to go figure out what all that noise is outside. And obviously you don't, because what kind of game would that be? Yeah, no. You go out in the middle of the night, take his... Do you get his sword or shield in the beginning? You get one of his items. I can't remember which one it was now. But essentially you go in the castle, you find him, he's been knocked out by things. Nobody knows.
Right.
And your uncle just dies in front of you, as most, uncles do.
But you can't have parents in an anime-type game.
Oh, why would
that
I
would
do
be
that?
silly.
Storm the castle and begin your adventure saving the princess. And actually, do I call this my favorite Zelda of all time?
Ooh, do you?
That's a lot of people's favorite.
It goes between this and Ocarina, but Ocarina's on the N64, so it must be this. I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay.
Maybe I think you get the most variety of items. The sprite work is perfect. I feel like I played this more in GBA, so I'm trying to remember the big differences. Other than every time you swing your sword, Link goes ha every time. Yeah, it's. I think this might actually have my favorite Zelda dungeons in it as well. Well, here's the thing. I love these games so much, but I don't know what to say about them that isn't like something that everyone already knows. I'm at a loss because like I don't want to repeat myself. You know. What has somebody not said about Zelda: Link to the Past? Somebody give something quick.
Okay, how about this? This was my problem as a child with The Legend of Zelda on NES.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out what to do, where to go. I was just wandering aimlessly. And even when my friends had Link to the Past, we didn't know what to do. We had an overworld map. We didn't know where to go or what to do. It was just wandering again. Right. Does that hold the game back from the much younger audience?
Some people would say, no, figure it out, you goddamn millennials, but I have never not used a guide in a Zelda game, because it's true, they're pretty obscure.
I didn't have too much of a problem with it when I played like through the first half, because I remember there being something that indicated on the map where like the various dungeons or items were.
They would tell you like a number on the map of between like 1 through 8, and then being like, but you didn't know how to, like, maybe you needed an item, but it wouldn't tell you where it was or where you had to go next. It said 1, 2, 3, or whatever.
Right.
But I remember there's one dungeon where you had to go, like, between overworld to overworld of, like, where do we go? It's like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like,
it wasn't entirely clear when I was very young. I was like, I just go there. That's the next number. I go there. What do I do?
Good luck.
Good luck. I remember group of us, we could not fucking figure out, and bear in mind, we're less than 10 years old trying to figure this shit out. And when the Dark World and Light World came into play, it was like, we might as well throw the controller down. This is calculus to us.
Right.
We don't know what to do, where to go, what this even entails. We're just like, wow, okay, Dark World's hard as shit. I don't want to be there right now. I'm not good enough. This might as well be Sekiro type shit.
Whoa. Ooh. Don't disrespect my game like that.
And we never figured out until one of us finally got the guide, right? The physical book that told us in the desert area we had to have that Book of Earthquake, whatever it's called, right?
Book of Earthquake, yes, my favorite.
Yeah, the brown book that you have to go like on the other side of the world to get, and then you can activate it, but you don't know that you use the power around it. It's a very cryptic message for an 8-year-old to understand, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
So without that guide, we were just totally lost. Didn't know what to do. We're like, hey, this is a fun little adventure game, and now we don't know what to do from there. I guess the game's over.
Yeah, no, that's how it works. You don't see credits or anything. Game's just over.
Yeah, game's just over. And the thing is, with a lot of games back then, you would think, oh, I'm just not good enough to beat this yet, I guess. Guess game's over, right? That's where I think the ease of entry for like the TurboGrafx had an advantage, because a lot of them were geared towards a younger audience. The games were much easier to dive into, and if you died, you just, hey, I get to play the game over again kind of situation.
Wow. I want to start over all the time in games, so.
Yeah, I never played this growing up. Nobody I knew with the Super Nintendo had this game.
What the fuck kind of friends you have in Canada that don't have Zelda?
Heck if I know.
Well, Sega was very popular in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, it was more popular than Nintendo.
Oh, I believe that. Bizarre world.
Yeah, I still had plenty of friends that had Super Nintendos. They just tended to have more Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and
Mario Kart.
But yeah,
I think that leads into what I was saying before. You got that multiplayer aspect. So like a lot of people, like especially my parents, like older brother would get Zelda because he was older, and they're like, he's more advanced. He knows what he's doing. But, like, you know, if it was time for me and my little brother to play, they'd be like, yo, you play Mario with each other? I don't know. No, like, Zelda was an older brother game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I all 4 of these games, or all 6 of these games that we discussed, are all winners.
Right.
There's just different barriers of entry to each one, I feel.
Yes.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's
that's
make
true.
any last-minute claims to the console's superiority, and this could be. I think console exclusives are very important, especially at the time, because that's where a lot of the argument lies. It's like, oh, well, you may have Super Mario World on your Super Nintendo, but you know, if I have Genesis has Sonic 2. You can't get Sonic 2 on your Super Nintendo. Silly goose.
Whoa. What an insult.
What an insult. We got to keep it PG for the young children.
Right, yes. Can't have that much toot.
So these are all games that you could only get on those consoles. I'll start off first with the TurboGrafx. So the TurboGrafx was a shoot-'em-up powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
And it had a little bit more of a mature flavor, so to say.
Gross.
So it had Splatterhouse,
see
the
that.
first one. It had Legendary Axe, which we spoke about earlier. Bloody Wolf, Blazing Lasers, and these are all non-Turbo CD games, so you don't need the CD add-on. I'm making that as a point. I think the CD add-on kind of hurt it later because it made you essentially buy a new console, and there was a lot of good games that came out on the CD, but you know, in the early 90s, you didn't have that kind of throwaway cash. At least my family didn't, for sure, way back then. So much so that I had my NES up until 1996 for the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I didn't like CD add-ons, man.
the one controller port in the Turbo was also kind of a hindrance, because if I wanted something like a Bomberman or
which is what it was known for, by the way.
Well, a few of them, yeah. It had
Yeah,
the better.
so,
It
like-
had the better Bombermans at the time, because that is a Hudson Soft property, right? So
it kind of sucks. You had to go buy that.
you had to get the adapter for more controller ports. The benefit is once you got that controller port, now you had access to 4 controllers, right?
But the question is, why'd they go with 5? Also, what a random number for controllers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bomberman had a big appeal to many multiplayer experiences, and so the sports
Yeah, but,
games
like-
were there. The Turbo had a lot of good sports games, but so did the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the Genesis also had a bit of a more mature edge to it.
Oh,
than
definitely. It was all
at
about
least-
the leather jackets and the 90s kids, am I right?
Kid
Yeah.
Chameleon.
You also had Splatterhouse 2 and Streets of Rage on there.
Streets of Rage was a big selling point. I remember that as a child.
Yeah. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 was even better.
So keep going about the Genesis, Colin.
Yeah, it was definitely more powerful than the Super Nintendo, or was it?
It
remember the games
technically was, but the Super Nintendo had the advantage of the whatever that chip was called.
The Super FX.
Yeah, the FX chip. So
Well, that was in the cartridges, though. That wasn't in the system.
I thought it was in the system itself.
No.
No, you're right, because only certain games had the FX chip utilized. So it was like
Correct.
F-Zero, Pilot Wings used it. What was another game?
Star Fox.
Star Fox had it, yeah.
Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. They had it.
Well,
Colin?
yeah, I just
Go
remember.
on.
I just remember
Yeah,
the Game Grumps guys discussing that when they were playing Aladdin. I don't know. For some reason, Aaron was saying that the Super Nintendo was technically the more powerful one, but I don't know. In any case,
I thought the Genesis just had a more strong processor, and that was it.
blast processing was bullshit. It wasn't
Nonsense.
a real thing.
Nonsense. I saw the ads. It was clearly better.
Because as we all know, advertising is totally honest 100% of the time.
Advertising, whether people like it or not, played a huge influence when buying video games and video game consoles, especially in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Agreement.
Yeah.
Pretty much ads are how you went off your game buying choices, though, man.
It was ads in magazines. That was it. And how the cover art looked.
Yeah, that's true. Or how the console itself looked. Because Genesis had a couple of different renditions. And they both looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Same with the controllers.
Yep. 6-button as opposed to the 3, yeah.
6-button boomerang thingies.
Whoa. I will say the TurboGrafx is the ugliest out of all the systems.
I don't like the look of the horizontal TurboGrafx 16. I myself have a PC Engine that I got modded to play TurboGrafx games. And
yeah, but like, where'd all the extra like space needed for it? The PC Engine's so small. Like, why did they just be like, let's make it chunkier? Fuck it.
I don't know. Maybe they thought it would be more appealing to a Western audience if it looked bigger.
Maybe it's that same focus group that...
Maybe you ever hear the sturdier.
Yeah.
Or more powerful when it's bigger.
Maybe. The Atari Lynx, they said, whatever focus group they used said, well, if it feels bigger, people feel like they get more value for it. And everyone was like, why the fuck would I want that for a handheld? But sure, whatever focus group said that must have been on the TurboGrafx team. But like, yeah, it makes sense. Look at all this hardware.
Well,
more hardware equals penis. You know?
Bigger equals
yes.
Bigger equals better. That's kind of the American mantra, right?
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Depending.
And Kevin, how about the last-minute Super Nintendo stuff? Like console exclusives and anything else you want to mention about the benefits to buying a Super Nintendo over the other two consoles?
You cut out for a second. I went dead for a second. But yes, benefits. You say you got shooters. We got shooters. We got all the games on Super Nintendo. There's such a variety. You could find something for everybody on that system. Is it the best? No, but everything's a solid B+ to an A-.
Such as?
Such as Mario, Gradius, Phalanx. You got adventure games like Zelda. You got sports games with voice clips. We had it all on the Super Nintendo. And we had 2 controller ports out of the box. Suck it, JD. You want Bomberman? We got Bomberman. Tell me something you want to play. It's there. Don't say Sonic.
Don't say all those other games that are on Sega and Turbo that Super Nintendo didn't have.
We got fucking Mega Man, bro. Who needs Sonic?
It had more accessories, too.
We have so many accessories.
It's like Super Scope and
I got a mouse. You want to play PC games? We got Mario Paint. It's good enough. and do you want to play your Game Boy games because you're like, oh, I got the TV? We got Super Game Boy.
Oh, that's right. That was a thing.
Suck it. You do have the Turbo Express, but you know, whatever. Fucking.
That did exist, but it wasn't no Game Boy. Am I right? I'd be foolish to try and argue that.
It was quite literally a turbo, though.
Yeah.
So pretty much Super Nintendo is the most versatile system of all time. Is what I'm trying to say.
So I'm looking at the games I've collected between the Turbo, the Super Nintendo, and the Genesis, and I have the sports games for the Genesis. NBA Jam, NHL 94, etc., right? I have the racing games for the Genesis, minus F-Zero.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was on Genesis, so.
That was not on Genesis, right? I'm saying just racing games in general, I gravitated towards the Genesis.
Oh, sorry. I understand now.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like I got all the racing games, including except for F-Zero on the Genesis. I'm like, wait, that's illegal.
Yeah. I got a mod so I can play F-Zero on the Genesis.
Whoa. It's illegal now.
And I'm looking at my Super Nintendo games, and they're more the RPG and mascot.
There were no RPGs on Genesis.
I'm saying the Super Nintendo. I have the RPGs for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was kind of like a default choice, though. It's like you had Crusader of Senti and like Phantasy Star and End of List.
So, if I'm an RPG and mascot fan, and by mascot fan I mean Mega Man, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong, and then the host of RPGs such as Chrono Trigger,
Secret of Mana,
thank you.
Final Fantasy VI.
The Final Fantasy games, the list goes on there. The Genesis, I have more games for, and they're a bigger variety of not the RPG and mascots. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here?
You're making sense.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so I have all these sports titles, and then I have a slew of different games. I got Aladdin, Altered Beast, Castle of Illusion. Well, they both had Contra, but Golden Axe 2, side-scrolling shooters, platformers like Rocket Knight Adventures, the Sonic games. Then there's some strategy games like Shining Force and the like. So I feel like if I was a kid with the ad campaign and a bigger variety, and I remember I wanted a Genesis more than a Nintendo. I really did. Just couldn't afford it.
Nintendo's got the legacy though, so you knew you were like buying into something good.
Well, I had an NES, but I wanted the Genesis one because it felt cooler. The ads were cool. I wanted to be the cool kid. Everyone wants to be the cool kid. No one wants to be the geek, right? Nerd.
Disagree.
Look, I already made good grades in school. I didn't need to like have all the nerdy things at home too.
Yeah. Nah.
And I was heavy into sports, like massively.
Sports ball.
So at the end of the day, as much as I could try to defend the TurboGrafx, it is the third wheel of its generation. It had a poor ad campaign. It didn't have the launch titles that appealed, and I think the variety of the games that came to the U.S. hurt it more than anything else. It was missing too many important aspects to compete with its competition.
Right.
Yeah.
Last minute thoughts, Colin. What would you have gravitated towards, and et cetera, et cetera?
I probably would have gravitated more towards the Super Nintendo. I mean, sure, the Genesis games looked cooler, but Super Nintendo had a wider variety, as you said. And there's just so many fun games I played on it as a kid. It's just... Yeah, I mean...
So you're saying the heavy hitters would go quality over quantity kind of situation?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm saying I probably would have gravitated towards the quantity over the quality in my mind. Anything else?
That's all I can think of.
Kevin.
Sick. Hey.
You're up last.
I told you, we got all the games, man. Everything you said was great, but you only got some things you excel at. We're a jack of all trades on the Super Nintendo. We got everything. Everything. Name something, like I said, name something you want. The genre's there for you. And you got the legacy, like I said before. Mario's there. Everyone loves the Marios. You got the Zeldas. Everyone played that. The thing is, that the Genesis, you can argue the Master System all you want. Nobody fucking knew, like, Sega before the Genesis. There was, like, that one weird kid that had a Master System, and nobody hung out with that kid anyway.
Well, you'd be surprised with the rest of the world. I mean, I know we're speaking strictly in the United States terms, but when I went and lived in Europe, Sega was so much more massive than Nintendo.
Right, I believe it.
And the same thing applies in South America. Hell, they still make Sega Genesis games and Master System stuff to this day in Brazil, right?
Well, I mean, Brazil's weird.
Well,
but...
Brazil's a massive country.
Well, when you do a lot of cocaine...
Okay. I think you're mixing up your South American countries, but...
Yeah, tomato, USA, am I right? Okay.
But Nintendo's... what Nintendo lacked in Europe, Sega took way much more advantage of, and they have a much bigger presence in Europe.
Right.
That's undeniable. So, but from our United States terms, yes, you're right, Kevin.
I don't know a damn person that had Genesis. That's all I'm saying.
I'd say it was 50-50 in my circle of friends.
Yeah.
With Genesis and Super Nintendo.
I didn't know anybody that had a Genesis growing up. I only knew Super Nintendo. I think the first time I saw Genesis, I was in like middle school. I was like, "The fuck is this?"
I had a couple friends that even had a 32X and Sega CD at one point.
Who the fuck weird friends did you have?
Friends with money, apparently.
Clearly. Yeah, I mean, look, I get Genesis had a presence, but I don't know. Anytime I see a Genesis port of a game, it just looks slightly sloppier. I'm not a big fan of the Genesis sound chip.
Really?
They all have that same, like, wow in every game.
Oh, I like that.
I think the Super... I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, like, there's no uniqueness to it. It's uniquely Genesis, but that is, like, the end of the line. I feel like there was just more color and pop and music on a Super Nintendo than a Genesis. Just feels right, man.
Okay. All right.
I'm in. Hell yeah.
You know, that is something else to say, though, but in the mid-90s, when the next console generation came out, what was the only one that stuck around? Nintendo.
True. So there. I win.
And then PlayStation came to be.
Yeah,
what did I gravitate towards? I went the PlayStation. I went with the new thing. All my other friends went with the 64. Nobody.
You're like, you fucking nerds.
Nobody. I had one friend. One out of all those. Like I said, it was 50-50 with the Genesis and Super Nintendo. When the next one came around, one friend had a Sega Saturn. I had the PlayStation. Everyone else had a Nintendo 64. Everyone.
I feel like you would have been the guy that had the Saturn. You were the guy at the Saturn, weren't you?
No, I was the guy with the PlayStation.
I don't believe you at all. I'm gonna be honest. I 100% believe you were the guy at the Saturn.
No, I did not get a Saturn.
You had the 3DO, right?
Well, I mean, we could afford the 3DO.
Sure. It was pretty much the Chrysler.
Mom, Dad, I know you're saving up money for me to go to college in like 18 years, but I really need this $700 3DO.
Can I see some of the games? Oh, Rayman I see is not on here. Oh, no. Can't get you a system without Rayman.
Yeah, that was my mom's reasoning. You know, I was going to get you a 3DO, son, but Rayman never came out for it, so they canceled that development. Looks like we're going with the PlayStation.
Oh, man. Mom's a smart lady.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it seems like we have a 2-1 split in favor of the Super Nintendo at the end of the cast. Of course, I'm the outlier. I went with the Genesis.
No, who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? Just speaking from the heart and where I'd gravitate towards.
Yeah, you might have heart disease. That's fine.
Harsh.
Got him.
Guys, we made it to episode 50. We had our first console wars. I'm so happy to share this moment with you guys. Thank you for being us. And thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Colin. Love you guys.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
Oh boy. Oh, don't do that.
Manly tears of manliness.
Whoa.
I swear.
No, men don't cry. You cauterize those tear ducts right now.
All right.
Whoa. Extreme.
It was just I left a window open. It's raining outside now. It's just going in my eyes. Okay. You know, it's the end of summer. Things are blooming late. You know, it's just pollen in my eyes.
This is going way too long.
All right. This is episode 50 of Redley Retrocast. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.